Hey guys, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It is March 19th, 2020. It's about 4:56 p.m. here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let me turn off my screen real quick. Aka Vulcan Wolverine. And I might wait a couple of seconds or a minute or two for people to join the chat. See, I haven't been in here in a while. I've got some new notifications and stuff. So things are going pretty crazy with the coronavirus here in Baton Rouge, and especially in California and New York, all over the world. I hope everybody's staying safe. I don't know, I was kind of thinking about it. I'll probably do some other live streams. And hey, to anybody watching, hey Wayne, what's up, brother? Everybody check out Wayne's channel, Wayne Morris. Hey, no whining. So are you guys doing okay? Wayne, is it okay where you are in Australia? I was thinking, like, I'll probably do some live streams like about the coronavirus and how many deaths, how many people have gotten better from it. I kind of got a little bit of confidence, seeing the president talk today. Even Mike Pence talking, they're taking action. They're taking action. It doesn't seem like it's going to get, well, it's already out of control. It's pretty much martial law in like New York and California. Yeah, Wayne Moore says no good here, mate. Yeah, total chaos. Yeah, I saw your video. I saw your video the other day about like here the supermarkets are just cleared out. Like I can't get toilet paper. I've got like one roll left and then some napkins. So I'm gonna have to order toilet paper online. Wayne Moore says China back to work. China's back to work now. Well, that's a good sign. And I think that Donald Trump said it was going to be like 15 days or something like that. I think he said that a day ago. So it's like 14 days of self-quarantine, or everybody, staying indoors. I kind of I was like, man, I want to go over this UN investigation stuff. Like the UN is investigating cyber torture. I went to Frank's call the other night, targeted Massachusetts, and Frank has a call on Republic Radio. Dare talked on PAX to this lady from the UN. And I forget her name, but we're going to go over some of that information. I was like, man, I'm going to put this information out, which a lot of targeted individuals have already heard of, the UN investigation into cyber torture. We're going to go over some of that information. But I was kind of like, everything the coronavirus is kind of overshadowing everything else. But I still want to go over this information, guys, because it's just like any targeted individuals who haven't heard about this, it can give you a lot of hope. And then maybe on some future live streams, we'll just like look up stuff. What I would suggest about, looking at things about the coronavirus, and my attackers are heating up my shoulders and my neck right now. I'm feeling pretty bad, because I'm trying to kind of get back into making live streams and stuff. So my attackers are just like amping up my autonomic nervous system. So I'm feeling a lot of like artificial anxiety and stuff like that. When I woke up this morning, my insides felt squeezed, but I'm using, the Schumann resonance things and the Smart Shield USB. So like when I sat up, it started to kind of subside. But since I'm trying to get back into it, my attackers are just really amping things up. And it I realized that I used to be able to compartmentalize very well. When I was talking about stuff, if I had any stresses going on or anything like that, I could always focus on what I was doing. But my attackers have been doing something over the years where it's like they open the floodgates of my mind to where whatever I'm doing, I'm always thinking about everything. It's like I can't compartmentalize anymore. And it really, really sucks. It makes me a wreck when I'm going to do anything. But we're gonna go over some important information and we'll chill. No whining says waiting to die here. LOL. Just my take on it. I know my sense of humor needs work. No, I mean we've got to have a sense of humor on it about this. The thing is, the flu kills a lot more people. People are recovering from the coronavirus. And the people that are dying are very old people and people with immune system disorders. So, we're young. I look at this targeting and I'm like, does this targeting weaken our immune systems? Because since I've been targeted, I don't really get colds or anything. So it seems like there's a response from our immune system that makes it a little bit, makes it function more from the targeting. But I'm not quite sure about that. I was just kind of thinking about that. Wayne Moore says they stole my mojo for a bit. And they've stolen my mojo like a lot. Um, Wayne, this is what I was thinking. I was like, with this remote neural manipulation, what my attackers have seemed to do over this, like, what was 2011, so now it's 2020. So this 9-year overt, where it became overt, is like anything, all my strengths in my mind, they try and suppress. And everything that's like a weakness, like, I get stressed out about things, anxious, but, I can bury it down because I've got, like, adrenaline and my faith and everything like that. And I find that with this remote neural manipulation, a big thing that my attackers have been doing over time with the trauma, the sexual trauma, the remote neural manipulation and stuff like that, is suppressing what's good, what your strengths are in your mind, and amplifying those weaknesses, amplifying those weaknesses that may have been small weaknesses that weren't really a big deal, amplifying that and suppressing what's really, really our strengths. And that's what I found that's what I found my attackers do. So I think what we have to do, we have to naturally condition those really good things about ourselves, using our faith, using our beliefs, using our adrenaline, using everything that's good about us, really condition it, and condition all those negative things. Sometimes it's hard though. Sometimes it's very hard because the remote neural manipulation is artificial. It's hard to control, and that's why I recommend like using stacked up defenses. And we'll talk about that later. And hey, Tansy, what's up? I've missed you guys. Tansy says, I have an immune system disorder and asthma. So yeah, Tansy, stay away from people, self-quarantine, get yourself, enough food for a couple of weeks, toilet paper for a couple of weeks, wash your hands like all the time. If you do go out, if you happen to go out, wash your hands. I saw something that said you got to wash your hands like you have jalapenos all over them, like you've just eaten chili peppers. And then it was something else, like, but just act like you got something really hot on your hands. Like I would say, like a good example is after I eat crawfish, I have to sit there and wash my hands for like not a couple of hours like straight, but I'll wash my hands a couple of times. But kind of compare it to like if you just ate crawfish or something like that, wash your hands a lot. Get hand sanitizer, and then get industrial masks, like the construction work mask. Donald Trump was talking about that, how all these construction companies are going to be sending their industrial masks to hospitals, and they're going to stop ordering them. Tansy says everyone gets a cyber from me, a cyber kiss. Kisses to all you guys. I hope everybody's doing well in this. I'm way more stressed out than usual. I'm worried about my parents, and my grandma lives in Baton Rouge, and I'm I gotta get in contact with everybody and see if I need to get my grandma something, maybe order her toilet paper from online, some ramen. I actually forgot to get ramen noodles. I got a lot of food, but I forgot to get, just like a bunch of something so that I could last a couple of weeks. I think in California, New York, there's mandatory self-quarantine. But in other states, it's kind of like people are just self-quarantining on their own. And then people were saying this was a rumor that the United States was going to have like a mandatory quarantine for a couple of weeks. But I don't think that's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm not sure. I hope it doesn't happen. Wayne Moore says just had a sub with jalapenos. That's awesome. I had a bunch of nachos and an energy drink and stuff like that. I took my Drenamine and this neuro support stuff. I want to show you all this real quick before we get started. I kind of want to get started quick. I want to go through this important information, guys, pretty quick. This is Dr. Stan Guberman. It's called Ultimate Neuro Support. Ultimate Neuro Support. It has turmeric. It has turmeric in it and a lot of B vitamins for the nervous system. And I feel like this is really good. My nervous system is just super shaking. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, love you, Kyle. I love you too, Tanya. I love you guys. I've missed y'all. Yeah, I got to get back into it. I've been talking to a lot of other targeted individuals that are, have been kind of taking breaks and stuff. And it's like this UN thing is huge. Like this UN thing is huge, but as luck would have it, right? Which our luck hasn't been very good over the last couple of years. Right when the UN investigation is kind of like getting on its way, and in a couple of months, it's going to be something that's actually very, very concrete, right? They're talking about it now. They're working together. It's like now coronavirus mania is out, and I feel like it's just going to overshadow everything. But we still got to talk about it. And I think some targeted individuals may not know about it. I think they may not know about it yet. I hope everybody kind of has heard about it at least. Tansy says, I wear surgical gloves when I go out, and I'm about to start wearing a mask out too. Yeah, I would do that. Like I live in Baton Rouge, and I think there's like 10 deaths and maybe 200 infected with it in Louisiana total, maybe more than that, but that's the statistics I'm seeing. And I went to the Dollar Tree store and I had to buy napkins for toilet paper, and I saw a bunch of people wearing masks and gloves and everything like that. So people aren't playing around with this stuff. A lot more people die with the flu every year. 35,000 people die of the flu every year. So it's not even close to that, worldwide deaths. But it's spreading, And I was watching something that said if the infection spreads very slowly, it won't be that big of a deal. But if it starts rapidly spreading, it could be a huge thing. It could be a huge historical event. And then, then we've got a lot of questions about, well, I don't have a question. I think this was on purpose. I mean, we can look up asymmetrical warfare. All targeted individuals know about asymmetrical warfare. We've been dealing with our own pandemic. People who are hit with these neuro weapons and directed energy weapons, we've been hit with our own pandemic for years and years, for decades. So, I mean, none of this, even though it stresses me out for my loved ones and everything, it's like, what's new? It's some more asymmetrical warfare. And I think that I kind of worry about this. Well, I've heard two things. The first one is just it's not absolute truth, because I do think this is a real virus. But I saw some targeted individuals, talking about how, like Dr. Robert Duncan, Dr. James Giordano say that, these neuroweapons, the neuroweapons attacks can really look like a virus or a fever or anything like that. And then I was thinking about where the breakout happened, which was in Wuhan, which is the biggest. It was like the beginning of 5G in China. It's like it has the most 5G in China. I'm not sure how to say that, but it has the most 5G in China, and it kind of made me very suspicious. The vaccine coming out makes me suspicious too. So there's a lot of questions. And I mean, just one word, asymmetrical warfare. I also thought about this, the coronavirus is spreading, and we know that they can do, wide band frequencies to make people scared, to put fear in people, or anxiety or anger or anything like that. And I really worry about that, where it's like people aren't dealing with their natural facilities probably. And it's probably done, a lot on purpose. But however, I watched the press conference with Donald Trump and Mike Pence and the guy from the Fed. It did make me a little bit more confident, because Trump comes up and he does kind of take charge. And I hope that leaders in other countries are doing this. But he is kind of taking charge, and he's got a plan, and this is what we're going to do. And he's doing things so that the economy can recover afterwards. So it makes me a little bit more confident that, like, okay, well, this isn't just more of a slip into chaos. Hoping, right? I'm hoping, because I do see that this is part of of a master plan, of a continuation of a master plan, especially as a targeted individual, right? We go through this stuff and it's like this, the neuroweapons attacks and like widespread frequencies to control people's emotions have been going on for forever. And then you get this virus that's just killing old people and just killing people with problems with their immune system, but it's causing a lot of fear, right? So you know, the top of the pyramid can see how people will react, can see what fear can do to the economy. They've you know, lowered the interest rate so stocks can be bought up by those in the know about what's going on. And there's a lot of different angles that I see to how it's like kind of a test scenario, right? A test scenario to see how everything can go, what can be controlled, things like that. On an interesting note, North Korea has 0 cases, and I'm doing the little thing, but 0 cases of the coronavirus, which I find interesting. And somebody was saying that North Korea said that it had a present for the United States. Kind of interesting, just kind of interesting, the news. But what I would say, and what I'm going to do is, you know, you look at the mainstream news about it, you look at your local news about it, and see if there's any instructions or anything. And definitely just no matter what's going to happen, get food for a couple of weeks, get toilet paper, get water for a couple of weeks, no matter what. You got to just prepare. But you know, I look at the mainstream news, then YouTube is going crazy, right? There's a lot of rumors about everything, but kind of look at all the information from mainstream news and YouTube, then make a balanced decision about what's happening and what you think, you know. And we'll do some live streams. We'll go over information and stuff this weekend. We might just kind of look at some stuff and go over it. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says, someone just posted to use hair dryer to melt coronavirus in the sinuses. I guess so. I guess you could dry your skin. I would just use hand sanitizer, wash your hands, make sure you're not touching your face a lot. Like if you go out, because I was watching something and how it spread through coughing, sneezing, but also if you come into contact with the germs and then you're touching your face and stuff like that, it goes in your mouth and your nose. So make sure you're very aware if you're touching doors and stuff like that, don't be rubbing your face. Make sure you have gloves or something like that. Wash your hands when you get home. And it kind of makes it hard because like my attackers were screwing around with me this morning, and they made my left eye like it, so I was touching my face a lot. Then I have to walk around my condo. There are a lot of older people that live in my condo, and they were my attackers are doing this psychological stuff, trying to make me think I'm going to get it, which I don't. You know, I'm not that worried about it, but they're playing games, right? My targeting has been worse. Well, they've been trying to make it worse. Let me say that, because I've got some things to defend with that really tone it down. Still, you know, still dealing with it. You know, the defenses aren't 100%, which I say all the time. But my attackers are like trying to ramp it up, and it's really weird. Like I kind of talk to them in my inner voice, and I'm like, you know, why aren't y'all stopping this? There's like this huge coronavirus crisis. And the guy was like, we knew that, you know, the guy on my V2K says they knew that this was coming and this is all part of the plan. And, you know, the targeting's just going to ramp up and stuff like that because there's going to be chaos and people are going to be stressed out and stuff like that. I don't believe anything they say. It's all a psyop, you know. Hey, New Type, how you doing, man? New Type says, awesome to see you back and the rest of the Targeted Warriors. Everybody also check out New Type's channel, NEW space type, TYPE. He has some good like documentary style videos on there. And Jennifer says, yes, they were giving me symptoms with mind control weapons. Yeah, they were my attackers are making my nose run. They're making my nose run, and they made my left eye itchy and stuff like that. But I wasn't buying into any of that stuff. Lisa Marie Tattersall says, I keep spreading the word of the Lord and let them know that don't have any fear. Yeah. Fear is our worst enemy, guys. I think our problem is that we get a lot of artificial fear. It's not really like a cycle. It's not like just being scared naturally. It's like autonomic nervous system, fight or flight. But I think that the coronavirus stuff, and I think it was released on purpose, a bioweapon that was released on purpose. It's to gauge that fear and to use that fear and to use that fear for control of the population. It's to test and to control, and to kill, and to kill. It's you see how it's not that bad, right? And I think a lot of people make the mistake of saying if this was a bioweapon, a lot of people would be dying really fast. It'd be a bioweapon, just taking people out in a day, but it takes like 14 days to incubate and stuff like that. That's how it progresses. They do it frog and boiling water style, right? And Prankville says, do you like President Trump, Kyle? God bless our great president. I do. I do like him. I can't help but like him. He takes charge. He has a very commanding personality. I have some problems with him. I have a lot of problems with him, actually. I think he makes compromises with global evil. But it confuses me because it's not like this straight line of New World Order tactics. The deep state's very angry at him. The communist left, oh, I don't want to, the socialist left are very angry at him and hate him. A lot of people that are our enemies as targeted individuals are his enemies too. And I feel like, you look at him, go watch that press conference, guys. And I think probably a lot of y'all have maybe watched that, but the press conference where he's talking to the guy from the Fed and, some of the doctors and stuff like that. Like, he wants to fix it. He wants to take care of people. And he's not he's going to take care of people first and work on the economy also, but he really seems like he cares about the American people. He seems like he cares about the American people. I do like him. I like his take charge attitude. Somebody wrote a comment in the press conference that it's like other administrations say, well, we're researching that right now. We're looking into that and we're going to come up with a plan. He takes decisive action. He's like, we've come up with a plan and we're going to implement this and we're going to do this. We're going to, we're going to fast food, people need to go pick up fast food. A lot of other stuff. They're going to set up like MASH units, like field hospitals, in certain places where the coronavirus is getting a lot worse. So it seems like he's really implementing stuff to take care of people and try and make this go away as soon as possible. And what I saw is that if the infection takes place in a little bit of a bell curve and not a huge bell curve, then things won't get that bad. Of course, things will be bad for those who lose their lives from it. But I'm saying it won't like kill as many people if it goes slow. And it seems like President Trump's actions are going to make it have that kind of slow infectious rate. I'm still looking into information. We'll go over some more information on that. I'm looking into a lot of people. I think that I really like Defango. Like, I think he has a lot of good information on it. Who else was I watching? There's so much information. James Munder. I saw some of James Munder. James Munder is a targeted individual, and he talks about just everything. Makes a lot of edited videos, and he's really popular. I like him. I feel like he does kind of jump the gun on stuff. He's like, could martial law be going on in New York and California? He kind of jumps the gun, but I guess it's okay if you balance it with saying, we're not sure if this is going to happen, but we're getting news of this. He does a good job. I guess he doesn't jump the gun. I kind of worry about like unverified information. But then we're also dealing with the mainstream media hiding a lot of information, so people have to jump the gun. They have to put out like things that they're hearing about or information they have on YouTube because the mainstream media is going to hold back certain things. So it's this balance, right? It's this balance that's very, very difficult. We just got to keep our heads level, especially for us, because there's some really good stuff happening. Wayne Moore says, I think the virus mimics the effects of 5G. So when 5G is up and running and killing, they can blame the virus. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people have been saying, Wayne. That's kind of what I think too. A lot of people have been saying that they're putting up, because schools are closing down in a lot of places, like in New York and California. I think schools are closed down where I am too. I think schools are closing down everywhere. And people have a worry that they're going to start putting up 5G. Well, they're going to put 5G networks up in schools, but a lot of people are afraid that this is one of the excuse angles, is putting up 5G in schools while they're closed down. It's unthinkable that they're putting up 5G networks near schools, but they're putting up 5G networks in schools. So it's really bad. It's really bad out there. It's really bad in our homes for those of us that know that, you can be hit by directed energy weapons. I really think it's not even just thinking it. Like I'm sure of it, but it's not like I can prove it. But I just think there's a lot of general widespread frequencies that are affecting people. And I think that's part of the targeting. I don't think we're as small of a group as we think. I really think that we're just not as small of a group as we think. And I think this coronavirus, like people kind of like seeing what's happening and seeing this widespread, they get a little bit of taste of knowing, how scary it is for some of these things to be going on in the world. Hopefully it wakes some people up. I hope that it just doesn't overshadow everything. I hope that they're already saying that a vaccine is being worked on. I think they were saying it's going to be like 2 to 4 months. And I forgot, it's like somebody in the CDC, they're working on the vaccine. They say it like takes a couple of months to tell if it's working. That's another worry though, right? What's in the vaccine? What's in the vaccine? Are they putting nanotechnology or anything like that in the vaccine? Because we got all these angles, right? It's hard to be like, well, they're just doing the vaccine just to cure the coronavirus. I mean, I think we all know that's not true. There's going to be a lot of things in that vaccine to start another problem. So I see problem, reaction, solution, problem, reaction, solution, problem, reaction, solution, problem, reaction, solution. But like Prankville was asking, I do like Donald Trump because I do think that he actually cares. I think he actually cares on some level. And I think that's why the deep state doesn't like him. I don't think he's going to like save the world. I don't know about all these mass arrests. I'm still kind of looking into it, but I do like him. I just, he gets up, he says it in a normal way. He says things in a normal way. He doesn't try and be verbose or like read off a script. He tries to just kind of like be succinct, talk to the general population. And it seems like he really wants to like have America be successful, right? Which is a lot of our presidents in the past, they weren't so much worried about America being successful. They're worried about like America fitting into a new world order. And you have you heard Trump say new world order one time? Now there's some agendas going on. And I do think Donald Trump compromises. He compromises with the new world order. He compromises. He is a Zionist, which kind of scares the crap out of me. But he does seem like he wants America to be successful. He cares about the people of America. It seems genuine. It seems very genuine. Tansy says, my drones are coming so close now. I showed my brother and he couldn't disagree with me. Usually he laughs at me when I try to point them out. Yeah. Yeah, and drones are being used as stopgap. I have like a couple of drones out here. Sometimes they'll be out like kind of near above my parking lot. And it's like, it looks like the North Star, but brighter and with like a red blinking light on it. But sometimes it won't be there, right? So I think they shift some of these drones around and probably put some in areas where in some areas they stay, I think the best way to describe this targeting is satellite directed, satellite based. I think there's a lot of different catalysts in our body. The best way to describe it is satellite based. Now the satellites are the brain for drones, microwave towers, over the horizon radar, all that jazz, wind towers, and then there's some other like antenna like things that we don't even know the names of. I think new stuff being put in 5G towers also, but I think the satellites are the brain, and then you got this infrastructure with drones included. And I kind of personally think that it's like there are little gaps in it, just like there's gaps where your cell phone can get a signal. those drones are kind of used to intensify and to fill those gaps that the infrastructure can't hit people with. You know, when there's a gap in the targeting. That's what I kind of think. I don't know though. I mean, I think drones are definitely used. I think drones are definitely used for surveillance, tracking, and can actually emit directed energy. You know, so it seems like mine is like infrastructure based. Like I'm getting hit with over the horizon radar and microwave, like the phased array antennas on microwave towers. It seems like that's kind of what the layers of my targeting are. But I do have drones over me. I think maybe those are used as tracking to better pinpoint me. But they could be emitting. They do emit microwaves, right? They do emit directed energy. I'm just saying in my situation, I don't know. I don't know if drones are actually shooting directed energy at me, because mine seems to be like infrastructure based. But there's all different kinds, right? Because there's all different contractors testing out different stuff. Let me get to this information, guys. I'll read some more of y'all's comments real quick. I'm kind of a little bit nervous today, to be honest, just from the coronavirus stuff and my attackers. Like, because I've decided I'm kind of gotten some homeostasis from my break. I got this new poster. Check this out, Serenity. You can't really see the title, but it's Serenity. This is my favorite movie. So you guys probably guys will like this movie. No, guys and girls like this movie. This is it's by Joss Whedon, Serenity. And if you watch that movie, you see a lot of these. It's about mind control. I mean, it's about mind control. It's about a huge global corporation taking over the universe, and trying to like make people more passive with this terraforming thing, and some of the people go crazy. And then this guy, the captain Malcolm Reynolds, has to get the information out because this River Tam was mind controlled to be a weapon. And so he has to like get the information out that the huge corporation called the Alliance is doing this. So a lot of like really on the nose metaphors about what's actually happening in the world. And I think that Joss Whedon does it on purpose. So you guys should check it out. Yeah, Prankville says, I believe he truly does care as well. I just don't think you can fake that. I mean, he gets up there, he tries to be direct, and it seems like he really cares about people. And I look for stuff. Where I'm like, he's just totally bought off and paid for, but I think it's half and half. I think he's doing some good stuff for America. He wants America to actually be successful, but I think he's making compromises, right? He's making deals with devils, because I don't think anybody would ever get into that office if they didn't think they could control them in some way. At the top of the pyramid, didn't have their hooks in them in some fashion, right? So it's a little bit more complicated. And I think it's made to be that complicated because you have a bunch of people that want to go get out in the streets. Now, think about that angle. Think about that angle with the coronavirus. You got some people getting ready to go out and do rallies. There were rallies in Spain about the targeting and stuff like that, rallies about other things. Now everybody has to be quarantined for a couple of weeks or maybe longer, right? I think, it's probably going to take a lot longer, but it's just interesting how things are kind of coming to a boil. Lots of information coming out, lots of people doing more activism in a lot of different things. And then it's like lockdown. We got this virus and there's a lockdown, right? And I forgot my other point about that. My memory is just terrible. I'm trying to remember the name of this lady who was like in the UN for 25 years. We're gonna read some stuff on that. Tansy says, Truth Believer says, horrible here. I haven't even gone out. Like I went out to get groceries the other day. I don't even want to go out. I'm just kind of staying in right now. Tansy says, schools are closing down in Australia. They aren't closing anything down. They really want to make sure enough people get infected. Really? Schools aren't closing down in Australia. They aren't closing anything down. They really want to make sure enough people get infected. Yeah, that's not smart. I don't know. Some people are saying like, things shouldn't be on lockdown, and this is just it's everybody just being really afraid, and not more people are going to get infected if people are out. I disagree with that. I think that it's good for the self quarantine. Maybe Australia will do it soon, Tansy. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Oh, that's going to make things way worse. That's horrible, guys. Well, you guys need a self quarantine and get y'all's food and toilet paper and just anything you need to survive, especially water, for a couple of weeks, especially because you're targeted and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what this stuff does to our immune systems. Sometimes I feel like it makes our immune system stronger, but do realize that, it's older people and people with, oh, and Tansy, yeah, Tansy, definitely self quarantine. Make sure you're not hanging out with a lot of old people or really sick people. No whining says keeping everyone home while the work continues to control and more. Yeah. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do while everybody's at home in the dark? What kind of stuff's going to be going on? What are they doing with homeless people? We'll go through more of that. We'll go. I definitely wanted to mention it, right? It's like the biggest thing going on in the world. And I almost said, well, I want to go through this UN investigation stuff. But I was like, man, it's just going to be overshadowed by the coronavirus. But I still want to go through it. Tansy says, I honestly think this is to hook people up to the program. It's not going to be like what we experience. That stage will be over. The old people are being killed because they're old school knowledge. Yeah. But the percentages aren't that big, Tansy. So we've got to kind of wait and see. We've got to kind of wait and see. Let's not panic. Mariposa P says, does anyone know how many TIs are located in Louisiana? Well, I'm a targeted individual in Louisiana. I don't think I would know the numbers, but I've met a couple. I've met a couple here. There's a lot in New Orleans. I've met a couple in Baton Rouge. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how many. Probably a lot. Probably a lot. Mariposa, are you in Louisiana? Send me an email, and we can talk on the phone. No Whining says the 5G makes more sense than the Corona, especially the allowed footage from China. Info found about symptoms from 5G weaponized smart appliances, streetlights. This is war. Yeah, I thought about that. I'm thinking like this is a lot of symptoms from targeting and neuroweapons, but I was like, they go into hospitals, they get treated, and people get better from it, right? So I was thinking, well, if this was targeting, if this was neuroweapons, just giving the symptoms, people would be like, taking medication and stuff and getting their immune system stronger, and it would just kind of keep going on, right? There wouldn't be a reaction like a virus would react. So I do actually think it's obvious to me, but I know that we're targeted. So, and I know that these weapons can make things look like a virus, and that's a possibility we have to look at, right? But it's obvious to me that it is actually a real virus. Now, what's it going to cause, right? With the vaccines and stuff like that, since people are staying in their homes, are they going to put up more 5G towers? Is it going to affect targeting, right? That's the question for me. But I do think that it is actually a real virus. Now, but how does that fit into the agenda of hooking more people up? Yeah, no whining says Kyle, both can occur. Yeah, I agree. It could be both. That's really important. What no whining says is very important, and it's what I say all the time. It's like I think sometimes we want to be like, no, it's this or that, and it's really true. It's like there can be a lot of angles. Some people may be getting symptoms that are neuroweapons based, and some people could have the actual virus, right? Yeah, that's really important. And I think it's things in a global scheme are done that way on purpose because just normal human beings like me and you guys and our families, they don't think about like 20 different angles for everything. And it helps things to slip through, and it helps more confusion to spread because people argue about things that they're probably both right on. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's a really important point. Hey Biggie, how you doing? Lisa Marie says Australia is probably targeted because they want it bug out there in New Zealand. I can't believe they are not quarantining people in Australia. I got to look more into that. You guys be really careful. It's probably just chaos in the stores and everything. Huh? Saw Wayne's video, Wayne Morris. People go watch him, go subscribe to his channel, and he was just right on. right on about the video. It's like these people in power are just horrible. They're going along with the plan. This is a pyramidal spider web, and they're just going forward with this thing that's happening. And the public is, is being treated like cattle. We cannot trust those people anymore. I look at some good things that Donald Trump is doing, but there's no way that he ever got into office. If he was just like completely going to do whatever he wanted to do. Yeah, no whining says Wayne is a very talented artist, most definitely. Tanya says they are getting bad shops down here. Yeah, they had. I saw a picture where they're putting police around toilet paper so people would only get a certain amount. I think it was either in New York or California. Hey guys, let's get into this. Let's get into this. I really want to go through this information, and on future live streams, I'll go through some more stuff because I think, probably everything that everybody's gonna be talking about is the coronavirus for a long time. And I hope it gets better. We got to keep hope. We got to keep our heads level. No matter what happens, we got to help each other. We got to help each other and trying to stay calm. I'm having a hard time. So I'm like, oh man, look at this. So I'm going to read this from Pax. Actually, on my last video, I called this, and let me get my chat room open on my tablet. I called it FFCHS. Tells you how messed up my head is because it went to PAX a long time ago. But this is some hopeful information. If you guys haven't heard this, this is huge. The UN is doing an investigation. And let me just read it, but let me get on my page here. Okay, hey, Wayne Morris says sub to Jeff O. So JEFF and then space Big O. Jeff O is cranking out vids. He said he was. I talked to him and he was like he was going to start making a lot more videos. So everybody subscribe to Jeff and other people with channels. Help other people out who are doing some good work. Like New Type, Jeff, Wayne Morris. Anybody else, promote your channel in my chat. I'm sure all you guys are making videos. Okay, Wayne Moore says him and I are doing radio soon too. LOL. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I listened to Frank's show on the Republic radio. If you guys do radio, like Frank did a show and it was really good information, but it was like there were tons of commercials and it was really short. So I was like, oh my God, if you get on radio, does it always have to be like a commercial every 5 minutes? And it was only like an hour show or whatever. Wayne Moore says he's a natural. Yeah, Jeff is great, man. Jeff is great. All right, guys. Hey, let's go through some of this information. So the PAX International newsletter. Now, this is from March 6th, 2020. So I'm pretty sure everybody's like heard about this. But just in case, and just to get it out, right? Because I haven't been seeing a lot of targeted individuals talking about this on YouTube. And I want it to really spread, like some of the truth community channels that don't talk just about targeted individual stuff. I'd like them to pick this information up and please get it out there. Please, Truth Stream Media, Dana Ashley, I'm trying to think of, there's a whole lot. Richie from Boston. If you do happen to come by and see my videos, I don't know if they watch my videos, but if you do, please get this information out. And I'll put links in the description and everything so people can check this stuff out. Let me get a drink of my drink real quick. I'm gonna go. There's an article from the Guardian too, and then if somebody like I'm gonna give out an email to. Well, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. This isn't beer. It's an energy drink. I wish it was a beer. Hey Charles, man, how you doing, brother? Charles says, I'm wondering how many particles this ELF shakes loose from our eye. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was getting my left eye was like really watering and stuff. Wait, are you talking about me? Wayne says he is the sexiest nerd on YouTube. Yeah, I get extremely nerdy with the targeting. Like I was able to before the targeting, I like nerdy stuff, but you know, it was cooler. But this targeting makes me really like, it gives me artificial anxiety and stuff. And I listen to my voice and I'm like, God, I got such a nerdy voice. Is my jaw's like messed up? Like they inflame my vagus nerve down here, which is a lot better from these Schumann resonance things. But it makes my voice kind of even nerdier because like my jaw is kind of impacted over here. I'm working on it though. I used to talk like really loud. Like when I'd talk at people, I'd almost be yelling, and it made everything that I said really funny. So you know, we're working on that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty much a nerd. Okay, so update the United Nations. It is Thursday night, March 5th, and I just spent over an hour speaking to Liliana DeLuca, a TI who has a prior 25-year employment history with the United Nations. It appears that it was Liliana who alerted the activists in Europe to the UN call for questionnaires, and she had an integral hand in developing the strategy that enabled our European friends to gain entry into this session of the UN Human Rights Council. There's only so much that I'm allowed to share here due to potential perp interference. However, what I can tell you is that what is currently happening came together as a result of confluence of events beginning with the UN rapporteur's concern with Julian Assange and his reports of psychological torture. You guys saw it, right? Right when there were stories about Julian Assange going into prison, I said he's being targeted because I saw the signs, and now everybody's saying, "Oh, he's probably, you know, he's probably getting electronic harassment, cyber torture." I knew it. I knew it, which landed this ball squarely in our courts. So look how one thing affects the other, right? They hit somebody as big as Julian Assange. They remote neural monitor him, remote neural manipulate him, and hit him with directed energy weapons. And then it goes along to the UN. So things are happening. Things are popping off. It's great. It's not great that Julian Assange is being tortured, but it's great that this looks like it's going to come out. The TIs working in Europe are now making important contacts so that our issues can be looked at expeditiously by individuals at the UN who are becoming aware of what is happening to us and preparing to assist in a variety of ways. For many years, TIs have written to the United Nations lodging complaint after complaint about electronic harassment only to receive form letter replies if they received a reply at all. As Liliana explained, it was because the UN did not have the information or personnel to handle this type of issue. That has changed with recent events. And guys, the amazingly simple reason for this is the United Nations has the internal mechanism to address our issues where none exists in our own system within the United States or anywhere else that I know of. And this is the thing, like right there, Russia's doing this to its citizens, Australia's doing this to its citizens, England's doing this to its citizens, United States is doing this to its citizens, China's doing this to its citizens, pretty much every country. And you've got this cooperation competition, right? So it's like if this comes out in the US, you know, it's going to be repressed because they're in competition with Russia to do training, research, and development and make these weapons better. And when the UN steps in, this is like I've said this on videos. I was like, the only way that this can be stopped globally is if the UN does something about it. I was very hopeless about this. I was like, I felt like the UN was, you know, in control of kind of New World Order forces, if you want to just call it that. But it does look like that could happen. That could happen if the UN steps in, sends investigators out to places, you know, where this is happening, which is all over the world, starts looking into it. I was thinking that the specific agencies like the FBI, local law enforcement, things like that, and then the equivalent in other countries, they might be turned inside out. They might be turned inside out to actually start investigating this stuff, right? So when it's out to the public and the public knows about it, some of these same agencies in local law enforcement and federal law enforcement might actually use to sniff it out. And that's the table turning, guys. And I have a hope. I have a hope for it. You know, who knows what's going to happen with the world, you know, with the coronavirus and some of these things happening. I see that as muddying the waters, but just going off of this news, this is super, super promising. Okay. There's a United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, who is now in a position to look at individual complaints and make country visits to places where there are reports of torture, including cyber torture. So they're calling it cyber torture, which I think is a good name. I think that's a really good name, because it's not only, it's not only directed energy to our bodies and neuroweapons and those certain layers of the physical and mental torture, but it's also, hacking into our computers, hacking into our lives. So I think cyber torture is a pretty good term for it. And says Liliana, he is supported in his pursuit of psychological torture or cyber torture claims by the UN Secretary General himself. I have been doing a lot of reading about the United Nations this week and the humanitarian work they do across the globe. Across the globe is vast, comprehensive, and amazing. There are legions of locations and workers helping people, mostly in developing countries, with basic survival necessities and administering emergency aid in unimaginable, far-flung places. It is awe-inspiring to read of the many programs that are helping and supporting the human condition. It will renew your faith in humanity. And as a 25-year employee, Liliana wholeheartedly agrees. So forget the hype. The good that the UN does far outweighs whatever bad press they receive. I also heard, guys, that that Liliana actually has V2K, that she is actually a targeted individual herself. I heard that. I have not. She didn't say that on Frank's radio show. She may have mentioned that on the PAX conference call, which I still need to listen to. So if you go to Targeted Massachusetts, I'm sure Frank's going to put out his interview pretty soon on YouTube, and he's probably going to put it out on Targeted Massachusetts. I'll try and put as many links as I can in the description, but I'm going to have to put in a lot of stuff. And then obviously, if you go to the PAX International website, it's going to have those. I think it has a list of conference calls. I'm not sure the date of the one. If somebody maybe knows what was it March? Was it March 6th? If somebody can put that in chat. Hey Jared, man, how you doing? Hey Drunken Ninja. Hey Deb. Drunken Ninja says, welcome back, Kyle. Well, thank you, Drunken Ninja. It's good to see you guys, man. In Drunken Ninja, I put the links for those two things: the USB, the Smart Shield USB, and the Schumann resonator. I have two in this pocket right now. The Schumann resonators. It's like right by where this vagus nerve goes, and it's helping my back pain a lot. It's helping everything. It's helping a lot of the targeting. But I put those links in the last video. I'll put them in this one too, because we're gonna go over that. They're very, very good ideas. Stacy found those things, and they're really helping. It's not 100%, right? Our attackers try and get through stuff, but it's like really, really helping. Okay, so let's see. Where was I here? Okay, well, there's much more to come in the weeks and months ahead as our European allies work in Geneva, Switzerland, and beyond to make contacts with the teams of individuals and institutional resources available to them to have our issues taken seriously. These are important steps because, as I stated, there is no such internal mechanism in our United States or anywhere else with a design that can address our issues to my knowledge. Stay tuned for further updates from our European allies as they begin to report directly on their progress. So Phoenix, okay. Let me see if he has that. Okay, Thursday night, March 5th. I just spent over an hour speaking to Liliana DeLuca. I wonder if that was the conference call. So March 5th. I'll try and get the date for that. Let's see if it's on the PAX International website. Newsletter events. I can't believe I called it FFCHS. If somebody knows the date of that conference call where he talked to Liliane, can y'all put it in there? Hey, thanks for coming, Wayne. Everybody check out Wayne Morris. And he was talking about him and Jeff maybe doing a radio show. I can't wait. I'll come on there and talk to you guys. Wayne Moore says, mention Frank Allen's mustache for a 10% discount. I didn't know Frank. I've never seen a picture of Frank. Okay, Drunken Ninja, cool. Wayne Moore says, shout out to Honey Badger. Is Honey Badger in here? How you doing, brother? Are you in here? Yeah, New Type says, please share this live stream on Facebook, Twitter, and all other social platforms. Yeah, guys, this is an important one. I would appreciate it if y'all gave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel anyway. This one's really important. I should have gotten into the information really quickly. Let's get into, hold on one second. Let's get to the article from The Guardian. And then if anybody has like another article about this or some information that's not on what I just showed from PAX, if you want to put it in, the chat and you want me to go over it, please do so now, or forever hold your peace. What? I can't click. Oh, okay, I see. My attackers are just messing everything up. So I can't, yeah, okay, I can stop sharing though. Haha, I got it. My attackers are trying to screw it up. They couldn't. No Whining says, I miss Woolworths. None here that I know of. Yeah, there's no Woolworths around where I am. Jared Ritter says, I believe that the coronavirus is just a cold. It's a relative of the common cold. But the problem with this coronavirus is it has HIV markers on it. It has artificial HIV markers, which means that it is a man-made virus. Like it's like a kind of a distant relative of the common cold, but they took these certain kind of artificial markers and they manufactured a man-made virus. So I've studied up on the genetic markers and everything like that. And it isn't just a natural common cold, but it does kind of present itself in that way, except it has special markers where it takes longer to incubate and it's killing old people and people with, lower immune systems, which is to me, it's a red flag that this was meant to slowly do its business globally, and it's spreading, it's killing people. But it's doing it in such a way where it's like they're seeing how scared they can get people to be. It's killing a lot of people, but nowhere near what the flu kills. But it's definitely man-made. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys I haven't seen in a while. Tanya says Frank Allen is great. Yeah, he has a good radio voice. The radio show though, the Republic Radio Network, it was like an hour radio show and he had commercials like every 8 minutes or something like that, so it just didn't seem like a lot of content. I know that's not his fault. It just seemed really short. It didn't seem like it had important information, but it didn't seem like it was really long. It seemed like a lot of I know Frank can't do anything about that. Yeah, Frank has a really good radio voice. Oh, thank you, Tansy. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Drunken Ninja says, sexy ninja chic in the back. Definitely, brother. Okay, let's get, and guys, if y'all have any kind of information, or can somebody in the chat, because I've got an email to send stuff to the UN. I'm not sure it's the best one though. So if anybody in chat has sent emails to this department in the UN, please put that in chat so I can put that out. What I heard, I heard Lillian talk to Frank. She said during, that other video where I talked about people sending in emails for the information they were getting about torture, that was for us. Like some people were saying they didn't think that was really for us to send in emails. That really was. That was to find out about this targeting neuro weapons and directed energy weapons. She said right now they're not, and this is, she said right now it's going to be like 2 months till they start calling for more emails and regular mail. But I think we should just send in anything anyway. I think we should get our emails, and if you want to send regular mail, get it prepared, send it anyway, and then when they call for emails and mail again in like 2 months for this this specific investigation, we send it in again. We don't want to wait. We don't want to wait. Just send it in. They might not see it, and they might call again in 2 months, but just have it ready, send it anyway, and then send it again in 2 months, you know, so that, you know, we can get it rolling as fast as we can. And so many TIs have already sent in, you know, tons of information to the unit. Wayne Moore says Awakens is hacked every time, Biggie. Yeah, my attackers just hack my brain. They just hack my nervous system, and then they make sure what they do with my like live streams and stuff. They did actually freeze one up so bad that it shut down. No, a couple. They actually did it to a couple. What they do is they mess with the Zoom program so that I can't like open a window and stuff like that. So you guys don't see it, and it doesn't just, you know, like, so you guys aren't like, oh yeah, he's definitely a TI. And then they just like mess with my audio. Well, they target the crap out of me. But they've screwed up sometimes and just made it really obvious. Same, yeah, Wayne Moore says same as Nap. Is Nappy getting hacked a bunch? Tansy says, Kyle, do you have a gun? No, I do not. I don't think I can own a gun because I got put into a mental place for this, and I got diagnosed for something else besides my targeting. They diagnosed me first with a bunch of really serious stuff. And then after like going to somebody for a while, they took it down, and they're just like, because I'm not insane, right? And I just say crazy stuff because I'm targeted. This is crazy stuff that people don't believe. They took it down to delusional disorder. So I'm not even sure if I could get a gun. You know, I think I just use things around my condo for a weapon if I needed to. I don't. My brother has a bunch of guns. Wayne Moore says every stream they cut Nappy off. Biggie Sanders says TC has a gun. Yeah, they cut off a lot of TC streams too. They've done it to me, but they like it. They like messing with me, like hacking my, because they've mapped my brain so well, and they've done so much remote neural manipulation. They like playing with my emotions and you know, targeting me worse when I'm trying to like get out good information, because that bothers me. It's like, I guess it wouldn't be like this. I would get mad if they cut my stream off, but I'd be like, oh, couldn't do anything about that. And it wouldn't really stress me out that much. I guess it would stress me out. But I think they find it more effective just to hack me. They do stuff a little bit, but I've got like, you know, actually, like I found that virus protection does help a little bit. Like and then if they're like hacking in, you shut your computer off, you turn it on again, you turn on your virus protection, you run it, and I think they have to duck out somewhat because it'll show up. Like they'll show up as being on your computer with some virus protections. So if you just run it, you know, every once in a while, it'll kind of keep them off. And not, you know, my attackers could be doing a psyop to me on that one. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty says, I have a baseball bat and mace. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking about stuff that I just have around the house. I haven't gotten any notifications for Nappy. I haven't gotten any notifications for Nappy. I haven't gotten any notifications for Kevin Christian. And then Future Knowledge. Is anybody talked to Future Knowledge? I cannot get in touch with them. I don't get notifications. Like, I'm surprised some of you guys got notifications for me. I think a lot of people probably didn't, because there's only like 18 people in chat. Like I usually have about like 40 or something like that, even in the afternoon. So I think some people, because I haven't been making live streams for a while, they got cut off from my notifications. So I'll have to start doing live streams like a bunch to kind of get everybody back in the loop. I want to see it. I haven't seen that one. Sleeping Beauty says, Wayne, I saw your vid kicking a chair. I want to see that. Okay, Wayne Moore says, Future did not respond to my email. I'm very worried about him. I'm very, very worried. Let's do this article real quick, and then we'll go through the email. I do want to show you guys. Let's go through the article first. We're gonna go through the article first, and then I'll show you all something else real quick. Let's see. Okay. So this is from The Guardian. Let me get this. Can I get this off of here? Let's see. How do I get this off of here? Whatever. I'll just take the cookies. Take the cookies on my computer. Okay, so UN warns of rise of cyber torture to bypass physical ban. And this is from The Guardian from 21st of February 21st, 2020, which is my birthday. Awesome. UN warns of rise of cyber torture to bypass physical ban. Rapporteur warns against trivializing psychological torture as states exploit internet to target individuals. And I think they do talk about actual directed energy weapon torture in the article. Let's read some of it. Psychological torture is being exploited by states to circumvent the more widely understood ban on physically inflicting pain. And we know, like, as targeted individuals, we have immense physical pain, like some of the most pain I've ever felt in my life, and I have Crohn's disease, the most physical pain I've ever experienced. Inflicting pain, and may open the way to a future of cyber torture, the UN torture rapporteur has said. Niels Melzer, and we're going to read a little bit about him, professor of international law at the University of Glasgow and the UN Special Rapporteur on Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, is cautioning that the internet could be used systematically to target individuals remotely through intimidation, harassment, surveillance, public shaming, and defamation. A trenchant critic of the UK government's failure to hold an inquiry into the rendition of jihadi suspects post 9/11, Melzer has also voiced concerns over Britain's treatment of the WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange in Belmarsh prison. I would guarantee you that you know, that he's being hit with neuroweapons. I guarantee you that he's being hit with neuroweapons and directed energy weapons. Okay, so let's see, where was I? Later this month, the professor, who is Swiss, and so this is the guy who's going to be leading the charge in this investigation. He's the in whatever department in the United Nations. I should remember it. My memory's so bad. Later this month, the professor, who is Swiss, will present a report to the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, highlighting his concern over continuing development of psychological tortures and legal misconceptions about what conduct is prohibited by international treaty. And what is being done to us in all of the different countries that we're in this live chat and on this video is completely against the Geneva Convention and other treaties that are worldwide. His comments coincide that the UK release of the documentary Imminent Monsters, a Manual for Modern Torture, which investigates covert CIA funding in the 1950s of techniques developed by the Scottish-born psychiatrist Dr. Ewan Cameron. And Dr. Ewan Cameron, pretty much he was the one who came up with Voice to Skull, right? The documentary, directed by the BAFTA-winning filmmaker Stephen Bennett, shows how patients were subjected to sensory deprivation, forced comas, LSD injections, and extreme physical and mental torture at a Canadian research establishment run by Cameron. Oh man. Hold on, let me get a drink, guys. And it just looks like beer. It's not. It really isn't beer. I was trying to make a joke. Wayne Morris says Assange has never published a false document either. Yeah, he's very on point. You know, he's extremely organized, and he has like people he really trusts to put out that stuff. And he doesn't put out false stuff. He puts out verified information. Yeah, totally. Hey, Bob. Spirit Channel says, hey, Kyle, Psychic Bob here. This is fascinating. Amazed to see it. So you didn't know about it, Bob? That's great. I thought everybody would know about this stuff, but I was like, man, I got to put it out just in case for people who hadn't heard. This is amazing, Bob. This is huge, right? And there's been some conference calls. So if you go to the PAX International website and then Targeted Massachusetts Frank did a radio show. Derek talked to Lillian. I bet you're going to see, I bet you Ella's probably going to talk to her coming up. So this is huge. A lot of really big things happening, along with like the lawyer with the last name Schumann. I wonder if that's a real name. I think it is his real name. That's really serendipitous. But this is huge, and it's gonna. But the thing is, they're putting it together, right? Lillian is I think she is a targeted individual. I'm not positive on that. She's worked for the UN 25 years. She's retired from the UN. She's talking with Magnus Olsson, Niels Melzer, who's like in the UN, and they're forming this investigation. So they're thinking in about 2 months to 4 months. It's going to actually be a concrete investigation. Now, when it becomes a concrete investigation, they start sending out UN people in the UN to all these areas of the globe where this stuff is happening. They have their tools of measurement to see what kind of frequencies are hitting us. Then guys, the national medias of all of our countries can no longer ignore it. When the UN is legitimizing this torture program and they're sending people in to actually measure and gauge the frequencies, and then this is what you're going to see, I bet. I'm going to kind of call it now. These agencies that are involved in covering it up and even involved in doing it, like the sheriff's department, city police, the FBI and stuff like that, they're going to actually have to help us. They're going to actually be mandated. Countries are going to have to say, whoa, how is this happening? And then all those lower level agencies are going to actually be turned around on this stuff. That's what I'm thinking. That's like, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, well, let's not even go into the worst case scenario. Let's hope for the best, right? And let's hope that this doesn't get shrouded, by the coronavirus and other things that may come up, Yeah, everybody check out Spirit Channel with no space in it. Bob is a great guy. Just the nicest guy I've ever seen. Who's talking? No Whining says Dr. Horton, Catherine Horton. Has anybody seen her? Is she coming back to YouTube? I've really missed her. I've really missed Dr. Horton. Tansy says, it's lovely to see you here, Psychic Bob. Sorry you couldn't go to that restaurant. Tanya says, I hope she's not in a mental place. Yeah. No Whining says, I heard 5150 not able to fact check. I hope not. I really hope not. She's very outspoken and she's going to talk about this everywhere she goes. So we've got to do it, but it does come with the risk of 5150. I just think we're getting to a place where they can no longer do it. Like this UN thing, no matter how long it takes to get off of the ground, it completely legitimizes it. They're talking about neuroweapons, directed energy weapon tortures. It's the UN. So your family members, I sent my mom all this stuff, and I sent her a bunch of stuff that Stacy sent me too from PAX, which I couldn't find. I couldn't find for this live stream. I'll try and get it for other live streams. It was basically that stuff on the PAX International website, but this completely. You did Sleeping Beauty. You didn't know about this? Sleeping Beauty says I didn't know about it until Kyle brought it up. Okay, well that's great. That's great. I'm not glad that people didn't know about it, but I'm glad that I'm talking about it so everybody can start spreading it, right? So I'm very glad. I should have done it sooner, but I was kind of finishing my break, I was kind of procrastinating. I love doing this, and it was like, this is what I told somebody. I said, the first 3 weeks of my break, I wanted to do a live stream all the time. But then when I passed up that 3-week mark, then I started not wanting to come back. And so I knew like that last week, I was like, I got to come back soon because I'm not going to want to come back. I'm going to be like, oh man. I love talking to you guys. Well, we're going to put out a lot of important information. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty, try and get this information out in any way you can. I'm going to put all the information. I'm going to put all the links in the description to the PAX International website where it talks about it. I'm going to try and find the links for Frank's radio show and then the conference call from PAX so that you guys can listen to it, because she talks about it in detail. People ask her questions. And We'll go back because I can't remember her last name. It's kind of hard for me to remember. My attackers are like making my whole back shake. I don't think so, Lion and the Lamb. And I don't even want to say what you texted there. I don't think so. I do not think that is the case. Yeah. No whining says mind sciences is code for torture and experimentation for starters. Yeah. The neurosciences, you know. Yeah, no biggie. I don't think that's true. Yeah, Spirit Channel says, "Hey Tansy, I do believe our tortures are organizing illness to destroy us." Yeah, it's making our bodies run down so we can, look like we're mentally ill. Like my nervous system is just cooked. It's just shaky. I really am concerned about like Alzheimer's, those neurological disorders. And that's why I'm trying to take this like ultimate neuro support, B vitamins, all your B vitamins. You want to take turmeric and curcumin in whatever form you can. You want to get turmeric and curcumin. And there's a lot of other things. I wish Autumn was in the chat. Well, no, Tansy has a lot of good advice about supplements, but we've got to reduce inflammation in our brain and our nervous system, because that's what our attackers are doing. They're sending frequencies to our brain. And then like for me, it's like inflammation of my vagus nerve primarily, and then there's inflammation of the rest of my nervous system. Like this morning I woke up and it felt like my insides, like mostly in my midsection and back, had been like squeezed and cooked. But then I sat up, and because I've got some of these other defenses, it kind of went away rapidly. It kind of started to pulse a little bit, like my blood was flowing in my back and stuff, and then it kind of went away, right? But I get concerned about all those neurological disorders because it's just, tearing into our brain. Okay, Sleeping Beauty says, I heard someone say in Nex's live stream that Catherine is okay. Okay, yeah, that's great. I think she is. I think she's doing other stuff besides YouTube. What's up, Honey Badger? How you doing, brother? Yeah, yeah. I think she's okay. I think that some people, she did a lot of stuff on YouTube, and now she's probably going off to like do more legal stuff, and work other avenues, right? Sometimes that's all it is. When you see somebody leaving YouTube, they may be going down other angles, or they're taking a break, or they're just, it's mentally exhausting or something like that. So don't always assume the worst, right? But we still need to try and keep in contact and make sure that it's nothing really bad. That's why I want to contact Future Knowledge. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty. I'm gonna put them in the description. I'll just put them in. I'll just put them in the chat room. Yeah, Tanya says, so am I, Kyle. They killed my brain off with weapons cooked. The brain can heal though. Um, even though those same neurons sometimes die, like brain cells, the same ones can't be regenerated. Your brain can make new brain cells. It actually can. They're finding that out now. The brain can heal. And also, the thing with this remote neural manipulation is sometimes they can really make it feel like your brain is cooked and destroyed and damaged, but it's like a remote neural manipulation tactic. They can make it feel a lot worse than it really is. And then if you start defending some of the layers, you'll start getting your memory back. You'll start, your thinking will be more clear. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't damage the brain. I'm just saying when you use defenses, you can find out it's maybe not as bad as the remote neural manipulation is making everything feel. This manipulation of the nervous system, and your brain is the top of the nervous system, right? And it can make you feel like your brain is destroyed. You start getting healthier, using supplements, using defenses, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at how much of this is kind of an illusion. There's a lot of destruction of our body and our brain, but they can make things amplified. The feeling of what's actually happening, super amplified. You know. Yeah, Spirit Channel says turmeric is so healing. When I am sick, I eat Indian food, which is loaded with it. It heals my internal injuries. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Turmeric and curcumin. turmeric and curcumin. In India, they don't have a lot of cases of Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's. Now they have a lot of gut issues. They have a lot of like colitis and Crohn's and stuff like that in India because turmeric and curcumin are a little bit rough on the stomach, but their brains are really healthy. They don't have a lot of those neurological disorders because everything in India that you eat has curcumin and turmeric. Yeah. Let me put some of these links. Let me put this link in the chat real quick, and then we'll come back to it. Now I'll finish up on this article, and then we'll see. We're gonna go through. Let's see if I can find any more like information from PAX on it. Maybe we'll see. So let's put that one in, and let's also put we'll put this link in. I really got to listen to Derek's interview because it made me very hopeful with Frank's interview on Republic Radio to hear Lillian talking. It just sounds like it's rolling out, that this stuff is no longer going to be in the dark. And then when we talk about it, we can say, well, the UN is doing an investigation on this stuff. And nobody can say like, oh, well, that's just in your head, or why would they be targeting you? Because it's a global problem where people are just being experimented on, people are just being tortured. You know, it's going to be concrete, you know, all the evidence, all the letters, all the emails, you know, and then Niels Melzer hopefully, you know, helping us out. Yeah, garlic is very good for you. Thank you, Honey Badger. Line in the Lamb says, Tanya, my head is cooked when I don't wear my headgear and covered with my steel helmet. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me go through that. I'm sorry, Lionel. Me too. Like mostly for me because I wear the lead shielding and then the grounding, guys. I'm gonna say it. Grounding. These other devices that Stacy found. Grounding. Dave Case's CD. The lead hat. Less EMF stuff. This is expensive. So if you can find a cheap way to get some kind of like silver elf fabric or copper fabric. If you can get like a big sheet of copper fabric and then make something that you can cover your head and your neck, the front of your neck and the back of your neck, it's going to really tone down on it because a lot of this stuff is conducting along our neck and our head and around the vestibular system. And then of course there's you know, electromagnetic transcranial stimulation to the head. There's that layer, and then there's the bidirectional stream of a little bit more complicated stuff. But if you can tone down the layers of it, you can weaken the bidirectional stream of some of that stuff that's going to be harder to block. Yeah. Lion Lamb says, Honey Badger, protect your heart during the day if they are hitting your heart. Yeah. I think I'm wearing this Schumann resonator thing, like two of them in this pocket, and they're 30. We'll go over that. We're going to go through. I'm going to show you guys the links and everything. The Schumann resonator thing would be the priority, I would say, because it's what everybody's looking for. It's what everybody's looking for. You just want something that you can put in your pocket or put in your shirt pocket or find some way to wear it on a lanyard, right? And it's creating this field, the Schumann resonance field around the body. You don't have to charge it a lot. So it's what everybody's looking for. It's the defense that everybody's looking for. Okay, I got to turn off my phone. I'll text them back. Okay. So let's finish that article, and then I'll go through those defenses. Stacy made a video about it, and I showed it on my last video, but I still want to just like show them and everything like that. Okay. So his comments coincide with the UK release of a document, Imminent Monsters, a manual for modern torture, which investigates covert CIA funding in the 1950s of techniques developed by okay, I already read all this stuff. Those techniques, the documentary claims, were forerunners of methods used on the so-called hooded men who were subjected to white noise, put in stress positions, threatened and deprived of sleep, food, and water, and beaten after being arrested during internment in Northern Ireland in 1971. Similar techniques were later inflicted by U.S. forces on jihadi suspects detained in Guantanamo Bay. In a 2018 judgment after the Hood Men case was reopened, the European Court of Human Rights reaffirmed that abuse of the 14 men almost 50 years before amounted to inhumane and degrading treatment, but did not constitute torture. That distinction, Melzer argues, is wrong. Judges think that physical torture is more serious than cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment. Judges think that physical torture is more serious than cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment, he told The Guardian. Torture is simply the deliberate instrumentalization. How did I do that? That was like magic. Of pain and suffering. Consequently, psychological torture methods are often used to circumvent the ban on torture because they don't leave any visible marks. Now, that's a huge thing about this targeting with neuroweapons and directed energy weapons. Some targeted individuals, they leave marks, but with me, they're not leaving marks. So I can't run to my parents and say, look, I got burns on me and stuff like that. So you guys who do get burn marks, make sure you're getting that documented. But for a lot of us, it doesn't really leave marks. We just look crazy. Like like my jaw, like they inflame my vagus nerve. So I look like I'm on drugs or just nervous or just crazy or whatever. But people can't see anything visible. It just looks like mental illness, right? The physical pain and the actual remote neural manipulation of the brain. So in his UN report, Melzer points out that many countries deny, neglect, misinterpret, or trivialize psychological torture as what could euphemistically be described as torture light, whereas real torture is still predominantly understood to require the infliction of physical pain or suffering. Some states have even adopted national definitions of torture excluding mental pain and suffering, or interpretations requiring that in order to constitute torture, mental pain or suffering must be caused by the threat or infliction of physical pain or suffering, threats of imminent death, or profound mental disruption. So let's go down to where okay, here we go. An alarming development that Melzer contemplates is cyber torture. States, corporate actors, and organized criminal, he says, not only have the capacity to conduct cyber operations inflicting severe suffering on countless individuals, but may well decide to do so for any of the purposes of torture. Cyber technology can also be used to inflict or contribute to severe mental suffering while avoiding the conduit of the physical body, most notably through intimidation, harassment, surveillance, public shaming, and defamation, as well as appropriation, deletion, or manipulation of information. Now, let's see if they talk about the actual weapons in this article. Already harassment in comparatively limited environments can expose targeted individuals, which we've been saying, we're being targeted, to extremely elevated and prolonged levels of anxiety, stress, social isolation, and depression, and significantly increases the risk of suicide, which a lot of targeted individuals have committed suicide. Arguably, therefore, much more systematic government-sponsored threats and harassment delivered through cyber technologies not only entail a situation of effective powerlessness, but may well inflict levels of anxiety, stress, shame, and guilt amounting to severe mental suffering as required for a finding of torture. In his UN report, Melzer pays tribute to Imminent Monsters for showing the origins and devastating effects of contemporary psychological torture. Such experiments, he added, should be prevented in the future. Of the UK government's decision last year not to hold a judicial inquiry into post 9/11 rendition, Melzer told The Guardian, "I'm very worried the Convention Against Torture requires it. That refusal sets an example that we don't really have to investigate and prosecute." And so this paragraph they did mention the directed energy weapons because they mentioned Ewan Cameron. And Ewan Cameron, did Ewan Cameron come up with V2K? Am I getting that wrong? Because that's what I'm thinking in my head, but I'm thinking I may. But basically, Ewan Cameron had a lot to do with like how they figured out how to do microwaves to the brain, right? He was huge into that. So and it's definitely not just You know, and if you hear Lillian's interviews, it's definitely not just like, oh, we're hacking your computer or whatever and we're surveilling you. They do mention the weapons. They do mention, you know, neuro weapons and directed energy weapons. Wasn't very prominent in this article, but it can be inferred, right? It can be inferred. So let's do one more thing, guys. And we need to start sending emails in to the UN. Somebody I know sent an affidavit in into the UN. Let me go to the email that we're going to send stuff into. So this is a page, United Nations Human Rights, Office of the High Commissioner. So this is Niels Melzer. He knows about this. He knows about this globally, about neuroweapons and directed energy weapon tortures in every country. Probably knows, you know, who's doing it. You know, because Lillian talked about a lot of people who call the CIA, we call the NSA, we try and get help. And she straight up said, you know, those are agencies that are trying to obfuscate and hide, you know, all of this experimentation and torture. So this is the email that I think, it's SR, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy it. This is where I think we need to email our stuff. If anybody has a different email, let me know, and I'm gonna look a little bit more. I'm gonna talk to other targeted individuals and make sure that this is the one. I hope it is. I hope this is it. But if we just go, let's see. I'm gonna paste it in here. Paste it. Yeah, let's paste it like twice or something like that. So we need to start sending in our emails. And I don't have a physical address to send in stuff. Yeah, Biggie Sanders says radio waves. Definitely. Yeah, Honey Badger says, I've heard that they use the Wi-Fi and cell phone as a transceiver to amplify the frequencies they are hitting us with. Yeah, that's correct, Honey Badger. And the thing is, like, I sit by my computer all the time, and so they're taking this you know, electromagnetic frequency field that's coming off my computer, and they're manipulating it. And so this Smart Shield USB, I put that in my computer, and what it does is it tunes the wiring in the computer to actually put out a neutralizing field. It's kind of like the whole house, Altera whole house plugs, but it's way more powerful. Okay, thank you, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty says Cameron was involved in MK Ultra, electromagnetic experimentation, and torture techniques. A lot of what is going on now stem from Project 119. So Project 119. Thank you, Sleeping Beauty. So they're not, like in the article, they're not saying directed energy weapons, but they're saying cyber torture. That's what they're calling the torture by directed energy weapons and neuro weapons, electronic harassment. They're kind of taking it all and calling it cyber torture, you know. So New Type says definitely turn off Wi-Fi and cell on airplane mode whenever you don't need it, especially at night. Yeah, definitely. So what, okay, let's see what else. I think I had one more thing. Let's read a little bit about Professor Niels Melzer. And I'm pretty sure if somebody else has another email, I'm going to look around and I'm going to clarify that on my next live stream. The emails that we need to be, the email address that we need to be sending stuff to. I think it's this one. I think we can send stuff. They're not accepting things for like 2 months. They're going to announce it when they're accepting another barrage of letters and emails and stuff like that. But I think we should still send them. Like I say, we just send them if they don't accept them, and then they just save that email, save that letter, copy it, and then send it again. You know, so one of my TI friends sent an affidavit. I think a lot of target individuals have sent affidavits in. I've been holding off on that. I haven't had a lot of hope in legal stuff, but I think it's time. I think it's time to go ahead and get our affidavits ready and everything like that. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty says it's creepy that MK Ultra Project 119 is the opposite of 9/11. Yeah, there's so much symbolism in numbers. I was even seeing where, you know, the coronavirus is like the shorthand for it is CV19, right? CV. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That has a 1 and a 9 and a 2, but C is like 3, and then V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. So CV is 322, is skull and bones. So that's all, you know, lots of numerology and things that are going on globally. Because the top of the pyramid, if you want to call it, I mean, I wouldn't call it Illuminati because that's not taken seriously. But you know, this pyramid, the web inside of the pyramid, they use a lot of numerology. People in certain fraternal organizations and things involved in this, all these little agencies and fraternal organizations, they're very into making things numeric because then it holds more power. It's like a magic spell, you know. So New Type says, always speakerphone and try not to have cell phones close to our bodies as much as possible. I never put my cell phone up to my ear. Always put it on speakerphone. Always. Hey, Stacy. How you doing? How are things in California? I hope everything's all right with your family. Hey, Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff, man, what's up, man? Jeff says, Wolverine, my brother. I heard, okay, and I promoted your channel, Jeff. Jeff's putting out a lot of videos. Check out Jeff O. And I've got to go check them out. I'm going to go give you thumbs up on all of them, brother. I'm going to grow a beard too. I'm actually probably not. I might grow a mustache. I might do a mustache with not the twirly things like the bad guys in the old movies, but like a mustache. Like, have you ever seen Tombstone, where all the brothers have that mustache that kind of goes out like that, and then they got a little patch right here? I'm thinking about doing a mustache, like a little patch right here. I'm not quite sure though. It might look dumb. I'm try and bring it back in style, you know. Cheryl Lewis says a mustache like Frank Allen. Everybody's talking about Frank Allen's mustache. It must look really cool. I've never seen Frank. I've never seen like a picture of him or anything. Man, and so Jeff and Stacy and Cheryl just showed up, and I'm like done, guys. I guess we can hang out. Does anybody have anything that they want me to go over? Okay, so that's the UN investigation. I put the links, and I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put them in the description for the live stream too. Let's go on the PAX website. Okay, well, I'll stay on here, but I'm going to search it real quick, and you guys can keep talking in chat. We'll hang out for a while since some people just showed up. But basically, that's the information. Any updates or anything else, you know, I'll put out on live streams in the future. The super, oh no, you know, I do have some more stuff that I want to talk about, but I wanted to show more. Let me look for it. I don't want to have to look for stuff. I don't want to have to look for a bunch of stuff. So if I find anything else that I really want to show about the UN investigation, I'll just do it on other live streams. And I definitely want to get that information out. I'll put the links in the description. Let me look just real quick and see if there's anything else. Just real quick. Okay, so let's show this. Saturday night. So that was Saturday. That was March 14th. March 14th, Liliana went on the PAX conference call. So look for the PAX conference call. Let me show this. This will be kind of, and I'll be talking about some other stuff, but just to let you guys know so y'all can dig into it. The people who didn't know about it, y'all go and dig up information. Put in Google. UN investigation of cyber torture. Go to the PAX International website to look for it. Go to Targeted Massachusetts. I'm sure Frank's going to put in Targeted Massachusetts on YouTube because he puts up his radio interviews on YouTube. And so I'll show those links too later on. But let's show this real quick, just as one more thing. I feel like I wanted to say more about it. So this was the PAX newsletter from Friday, March 13th, 2020. Liliana DeLuca Connor and Helena Sorba will be sharing about the UN investigation Saturday night. Liliana DeLuca Connor and Helena Sorba join us Saturday night to speak about the United Nations investigation, Niels Melzer, Magnus Olsen, and how they can help our TI community. And so that was on March 14th. So if you look for the PAX International conference calls, look for March 14th, and she's going to talk all about it. And I'll just show those on later videos. So there's only two other things that I really wanted to do, and I kind of talked about. I've been talking about them along the way. Stacy on her channel has been talking about them too, and they're really effective for me. I got 2 Schumann resonators in my pocket here, and then I got one on my right pocket. Then I got a Smart Shield USB in my computer right now, and another one in the wall. I have a USB connector to the wall, and then one in the wall. So it tunes the wiring to create a field to neutralize some of the layers of this. Probably some of the external layers, and then there's like layers where they're putting electromagnetic fields around the head, the electromagnetic transcranial stimulation, then bidirectional streams through that. You know, there's other methods too. There's other layers to this stuff. But let me just show y'all kind of pictures of them for people who haven't heard about these. And people who have heard about them, if you try them and they really work, please let people know. Please kind of spread it around. So this is on Amazon, guys. This is the Schumann wave generator, 7.83 hertz, ultra low frequency pulse generator with rechargeable battery and US cable screwdriver. Oh, my left leg is cramping up. Oh. Honey Badger says, have you ever tried reverse polarity magnets? Tried neodymium magnets, but not reverse polarity magnets. I kind of gave up on, I didn't give up on magnets, but I had so much other stuff going on. I kind of dropped the magnets. I need to try them again. Magnets do work. I wouldn't keep them around your head all the time. Stacy says, Tanya Bauer, yes, it's really bad here. Just read an article that 56% of Californians are predicted to get corona by May. Oh, I hope that's not true. Well, they're doing the quarantine right now. You guys have to like stay in. So hopefully, like, you know, I was reading about it, Stacy, and they're preparing a vaccine, and they say it's going to be ready in like 2 months or 4 months or something like that, maybe sooner if they're pushed by the White House to do it. I'm worried about what's in that vaccine, but hopefully the vaccine can come out soon. Oh my God, that's so scary. Yeah, it's really bad in California, y'all. It's getting bad here. It's getting bad in Baton Rouge. Yeah, Tanya says, wow, Stacy, please be careful. Yes, definitely. Okay, so Sleeping Beauty says, stay healthy, Stacy. I heard vitamins A, C, D, and black elderberry is good for the immune system. Definitely get vitamin C. I bet you in stores, vitamin C is like out right now. Wayne Moore says, is that a Schumann resonator in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Just happy to see. Just both. It's both, Wayne. They're really small. Well, let me show y'all. I showed it on my last video. They're super small. They're kind of smaller than the Q-Wave Defender. You can't really tell the size on this thing. And I'll also put this in the link. After my live stream post or whatever, I'll put all this stuff up. And my attacker screwed up my screen thing. So it's this size right here. You see, it's about this size. Can easily fit into a shirt pocket, or like I think Stacy's getting a lanyard to put around here. You can put it in your pockets. I got one in my pocket, 2 in the shirt pocket. Super, super small. This is what everybody's looking for, because this creates a Schumann resonance, which is healthy for the body, right? Like it's good frequency medicine for the body, and it diffuses some of the layers that they're sending in. Now it's not going to be 100%, but it's you know, like I've said for a long time. Stacy found this, and she found this too, the USB Smart Shield. But like I've been saying for a long time, you know, stacking defenses is what I found to get relief to where, like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples. Let me give you 2 examples. So last night I was sitting at home, and It was like late night, you know, and I was watching a movie. I actually watched this movie called The Hunt. The Hunt. It's about a bunch of rich liberals that like hunt the deplorables, like people like me and probably a lot of you guys. Really screwed up, but kind of a good movie. Kind of a good movie. It's very weird, kind of like art imitating life. But so I'm sitting there and like I hear the V2K. The V2K is buffered down, but I can still hear it. I got a little bit of pain over here, so I'm having a headache kind of on this side, which is my attackers stimulating my vagus nerve with remote neural manipulation. My back kind of hurts a little bit. I got my grounding on and everything though. So I'm in a little bit of pain. I'm annoyed because this has been going on for so long, so I'm tired, right? My brain's tired from the V2K. My brain's tired from the neural manipulation. But I was laughing during the movie. Like I was laughing. I'd get goosebumps in certain scenes when the heroine like kills the rich liberals. I guess I mean, I wasn't happy about the violence, but it's kind of, she was a badass. And so not unbearable, right? I wasn't like, I'm gonna die. And I think a lot of us, or at least for the first couple of years, I was like, I'm gonna die. I can't focus on anything. I can't do anything fun. But like last night, it was bearable, right? It's bearable, a little bit of pain, and it's even less because of these two defenses. Now I want to give you another example too, because this is about my theory. Let me have a drink here. Oh, I'm way behind in the comment section. Hey, little Allison. Hey, Vocal Sword. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. Okay, Honey Badger says, let them know you are allergic to vaccines and you may be able to opt out if they make it mandatory. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because you don't want to get the coronavirus. If the vaccine stops you from getting the coronavirus, should we reject it? Like, I can't even say for sure. I mean, like, I don't want to say anything about that because, like, I mean, you don't want to get the coronavirus. So we might have to, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think that's an automatic. What I would say is I don't think that's an automatic, let's reject the vaccine because then you can get the coronavirus and maybe die. And the coronavirus is real. It's not just something they made up. Like it is a real virus. So that's a tough one, y'all. I don't know. I'm not telling anybody to do anything though. I'm telling people to like get toilet paper and food and water and stay indoors if you do not have it and wash your hands a bunch like you just ate crawfish or jalapenos. And don't rub your face if you go out and don't hang out with a lot of old people or people with very weak immune systems. Stacy TI says everything is shut down here. Everything. Yeah, like schools are shut down where I am, but stores are still open. So Stacy's saying everything in California is shut down. James Munder was saying that that martial law is already enacted pretty much in New York, and they're about to enact martial law in California. I don't know if that is concrete, but that's the word, you know. Oh wow. Like I've been talking to a lot of people. I've been talking to Stacy and a lot of other people, and it seems like a movie. It seems like the beginning of Resident Evil or The Walking Dead. Like it does not seem real. It seems surreal. But then we have to look at it. We have to look at how many people the flu kills, who's being killed by the coronavirus, and it actually is not like this. It's not like this virus where people are just dropping dead in the streets. Um, you know, so there is some like fear-based stuff, like because of what people are doing globally, telling people to stay indoors and things like that. I think in our perception, it might be a little bit bigger than the actual deaths, and people have recovered. Remember that people have recovered from this. So, but it is still really bad. I think we just have to balance our perception on it. Stacy TI says all the medicine and vitamins are gone in the store. The stores were empty when I last went. Oh man. Oh, my back hurts really bad. Hey, Charles of Hurley. Oh man, my back. Okay, I wanted to give y'all one more example of the stacking up defenses too, because it's really important to understand with what your attackers are doing and how they adapt to certain things. Like if you're trying one defense, how they can adapt to it because they can kind of see how it's working. They can see if you're getting relief, and then they can like adapt and get around it, right? The AI can adapt to another frequency. Your attackers, if you do have hive mind team members, they can like go up and down the electromagnetic spectrum and stuff like that. Wayne Morris said, we have the upper hand here over the sheeple. Yeah, yeah, because we've already been in it. We're suffering a pandemic that has killed way more people than the coronavirus. Like this targeting has killed way more people than the coronavirus has. So it's like we've been in pandemic mode for decades, and other people are just like, oh, something weird's happening in the world. They're waking up to bizarre stuff going on, like the coronavirus. Okay, Hey, thanks for coming by, Honey Badger. I'll text you, man. I wonder, Honey Badger, you putting out some videos? Honey Badger says, check out this link for some good COVID defenses. It's from Dr. John Bergman channel. Okay, so Dr. John Bergman's putting out some good advice and stuff like that. Thanks for coming by, Honey Badger. I'm kind of about to wrap things up, guys. I'm sorry, because some like Cheryl, Jeff, and Stacy just came, but my back's hurting really bad. My attackers are hurting pretty bad, and I just wanted to get that. I wanted to get that information out about the Yoon investigation, and then I'll do some live streams later. But I'm probably going to have to keep them a little bit short. So I just don't have a lot of like energy to do like an 8-hour live stream like I used to. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Cheryl says people are going to get desperate and try looting. Stay locked and loaded. Yeah, I would stay inside for now. And if you're in California or New York or Washington, stay inside for now. And it looked like I saw a map today. It looked like all up the East Coast was just red. Like all up the East Coast down to Florida, it's just all red, just all infection. The only state in the United States that has zero is West Virginia. West Virginia has zero cases of the coronavirus, which I'd like to. I was thinking they're further away from each other probably in West Virginia, and then there's probably some other factors in there. They should probably find out what those factors are and then use them for other states. But let me Stacy TI says it was weird. I couldn't find your live stream on YouTube when I was looking. Yeah, you're probably not getting notifications because I haven't done a live stream in a while. So everybody gets disconnected from my channel. Like if I don't watch another targeted individual for like a week, I won't get notifications. So make sure, guys, to click the notification bell on. And there's, this. On notification bells, there's options on the notification bells. Put the one where it's like, get notified about everything that I put out. And do that for people that you like, or choose whichever setting. But on the notification bell, there's 3 settings. There's one where you see some stuff that somebody puts out. There's one where you see everything they put out, and then another one, and then I think no notifications. So go to that and you can choose a different setting. But yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for people to get reconnected to my channel, and I knew that. That's why I didn't want to take a break. I was like, if I take a break, people aren't going to be getting notifications. They're going to be cut off from me. So that was a huge deal when I was thinking about taking a break. But I said, I just got it. And I'll have smaller live streams for a while with people who really know me. People who really know like about what I'm doing and really hang around. I guess that pretty much everybody that comes is really good. So let me do this last example, guys. I'll do more live streams. I'm gonna get back into it, and I think we're gonna be I need to really look into what's going on with the coronavirus, and we'll do a live stream this weekend, going through some balanced information and stuff like that. And yeah, that's really bad in California, Stacy. You and your family need to like stay inside. I don't know. I don't know what I tell people about the vaccine. Charles said, we just do not have the test. Yeah. Tansy says, see you guys later. It was great to hang out with you all on Kyle's live stream again. Thank you for coming, Tansy. Thank you for coming. I hope you're okay. Just stay safe, stay inside, stay clean, wash your hands. And let's just keep informed. Let's keep informed on it. I don't know what I would say about if the vaccine comes out. I would take it. I don't know if I'm gonna take it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like look into it a lot more. Stacy says Tom McDonald made a new song, Coronavirus. Cool, Cheryl. Thank you. Let me just do one thing, guys. Yeah, I've been on a while. What time did I start? I started at like 4. I started at 5. Started at 5. I think I started at 5. Yeah, so it's been about 2 hours. I kind of with the start of doing these again, I kind of want to keep it a little bit short. But this is when I say like you need to stack defenses. Like the other night, I'm laying in bed. I got my head propped up. Remember, like if you lay down flat, your blood flow is going to go to your head through all your veins and everything and blood vessels. And then the remote neural manipulation stuff is going to be a lot stronger. So when I find myself slipping down, my back they start squeezing my insides, like they're remote neural manipulating and stimulating my nervous system to cause pain, like in the trunk of my body. But so I had the less EMF headgear on, had the lead hat, or on top of the less EMF headgear, Dave Case's CD, so it's going straight into my vestibular system. Then I have the lead cap on, I have my grounding on, then I have Q-wave defenders on, which work okay. They're not as good as the Schumann resonator thing. But then I have 2 Schumann resonators in my shirt pocket, 1 in my pants pocket. Now think about your attackers. Think about if you just had the Schumann resonators on. They're going to try and shift frequencies a little bit to hit you, to adapt, right? And the AI is also going to try and adapt. Then it runs into my grounding. What my grounding's doing, if they try and switch, it kind of runs into trouble with the grounding. Well, then they got to adapt to the grounding. So then they kind of run into the less EMF headgear, Dave Case's CD, and the lead cap, right? So you see what stacking defenses does. It kind of corners your attackers. They can't just, if you're just using one thing, they can adapt pretty quick, right? And I think with the Schumann resonator, it'd be a little bit harder for them because the Schumann resonance is such a natural frequency that I don't think they can manipulate it or get around it very easily. But you see my point. They're going to try and adapt to one thing, and they're going to run into another. And then they're going to run back. They're going to try and adapt a little bit more. There's going to be another defense, right? So if you're stacking these defenses, it corners your attackers. Instead of them cornering you, it can kind of push them back because you've got some layers, right? You've got these layers, and they've got to adapt to this layer or that layer or that layer. And now some of this stuff is a little bit more complicated, like the photonic energy that's bidirectional stream, scalar waves and stuff like that. It's a little bit more complicated, but they're doing this in layers of electromagnetic frequencies, right? So if you tone those down, you're going to tone down the more complicated stuff. So just keep that in mind. It's what I've been saying the whole time. It was instinctual when I started saying it like years ago to stack up defenses like that. It was instinctual, and now people are doing that. Like I'm doing that. Other people are doing that, and it's proving very true. It's proving very true through experimentation, through good experimentation, like where we're experimenting with defenses. It's proving that it kind of corners your attackers. It makes it harder for them just to adapt like that. Use one thing, like if I was just using grounding, some of the external hits would probably be toned down, but they would just amp up the remote neural manipulation, right? But since I use Dave Case's CD, they run into that, right? So I got those 2 things where it's like, oh, it tones down the external hits. They might want to amp up the remote neural manipulation, but then Dave Case's CD's there. They've got to put stuff around my head. So, but then I've got the less EMF headgear and the lead cap. So you want to stack things, different things, and they're gonna be trying to adapt back and forth. It's gonna be very hard for them, and things are gonna kind of try, stay toned down. It's hard. They're stimulating my vagus nerve in my back right now. Drunken Ninja says, was thinking of getting the resonator. That I would make that like between the Smart Shield USB and the Schumann resonator, I would get the Schumann resonator. And let's just go back to it. It's so cheap. Did I show that? Okay, this is the Smart Shield. I didn't show this yet. So this is the Smart Shield USB home or vehicle EMF neutralizer. You take this USB and it's very small. You just put it in your computer, or you get a USB adapter to your wall and put it in there. Tunes the wiring in your wall or your computer to neutralize a field. And it not only neutralizes the field that your computer's making or your wall's making, but it neutralizes some of the external hits and layers that your attackers are actually shooting at you. So this is it used to be like $48 or something like that. It's 54 now. It's only 10% off now. But let's go back to just show it one more time. Show it one more time. So this. So here's the Schumann wave generator, and it has a little USB thing that you can charge it. I haven't had to charge them. Like it's been like it's a couple of days before you have to recharge them. So this is what people are looking for. People are looking for something you can just buy. It's pretty cheap. You can put it in your pocket and it works everywhere. And it's like a little force field. Now it doesn't cure everything 100%. That's why you've got to stack things. But this, I would make this a priority. For anybody, I mean, I'd make like Dave Case's CD a priority. But you know, if you're looking for something that's kind of cheap and you can just put in your pocket, I would make this a priority. It's really helping a lot of people already. Will Allison says TI for dummy newbies, LO or doobies. Stacy TI says yes, noticeable, very noticeable differences. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to stop the live stream in a second, guys. I'm having trouble with my speech. The Schumann, yeah, Stacy. Yeah, Stacy was saying it's maybe even better than the hearing aids, than the noise canceling hearing aids. And you know, there's the thing that, you know, our attackers can adapt and get through stuff. So we've still got to work with that, but that's why we stack different things. But I'd say this is like in the top, like Dave Case's CD, noise canceling. I'd say that this is like in there, and I'm not sure which order, but this is really good. It's really good. The Schumann resonance is just a natural thing that our body needs, and it's absorbing. It's diffusing. Diffusing is a better word. It's diffusing some of the layers of the target because of the natural frequency. Wayne Moore says, cook the man some flipping eggs. Jeff O says, Cheryl loves the length of Jane Lyco's live streams. Is he doing some new ones, Jeff? I got to check that. I got to check out James's live stream. And please, guys, Jeff Wayne, you know, any of you guys with a TI channel where you're talking about target individuals, where you're talking about this stuff, please talk about the UN investigation, because you might think that everybody knows it, right? You might think that everybody's like, oh yeah, I heard about the UN investigation, but even today when I talked about it, some people didn't know about it. So it's really important. So you guys, you know, please everybody go check out Jeff O's channel, check out Wayne Morris's channel. Please talk about the UN investigation, and I'm going to be updating with anything. There's some stuff that that Stacy sent me on my phone that I couldn't find on the PAX International website, and I'll probably go through that on the beginning of my next live stream. Yeah, so if you guys can do that, if you guys can like put some, yeah, cool, Jeff. I'm going to put some links on this video. If you could maybe just go through some of that, or just even just talk about it. I don't even think you need to, like, you know, just say, man, there's this UN investigation. Spread the word so that targeted individuals can start looking into it on Google and looking into it on the PAX International website. And I'm sure Ella's going to do like an interview with Lillian too, probably, you know, so it'll be spreading. Cheryl, what are y'all talking about? A new one handlebar? Are y'all talking about mustaches still? I miss a lot of stuff. Y'all. Oh, okay, yeah. Stacy TI says, Cheryl, new mustache. LOL. I'm gonna do a new mustache. Y'all are gonna see the coolest. Cheryl Lou says, "Did you know Kyle is going to grow one?" He said, "Watch out, Stacy." Yeah, it's gonna be one of those where it's like not the twisted up mustache. It's gonna be a little bit out like that. They used to have them in the old West, like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. They had this little patch here. I don't know if it looks stupid. I might try it, and then if it looks stupid, I'll just shave it off. I don't know how I look with facial hair. I do kind of like it when I'm a little bit rough, but I don't like the beard because it annoys me. It's like scratchy. I get like kind of pimples under it and stuff. Drunken Ninja says, yeah, even the frequencies of our electromagnetic, even the frequencies of our electromagnetic environment are bad. So the resonator will help that too. Yeah, in Drunken Ninja, that's like so I would do that one, and it's like $35. If you do have enough money, I would try the other one too. If you sit by your computer, if you sit by your computer, or like if you sleep by your wall or something like that, which I'm sure a lot of people sleep by their wall. But I would do the Schumann resonator first. And then if you do have some money, they're cheap. It's not like $250 or $300 for the Q wave stuff, which 16 kind of helps, right? 16 kind of helps, so that's no good for us. It's no good for us. It's when I had a 401k from Dell that was like $10,000 from a couple of years. Dude, if I wasn't targeted, like I was targeted while I was working at Dell, but if I wasn't targeted, I would have so much money. I'd be working at Dell and just probably a manager or something like that. But so I had some money, right, a cushion, and I could just buy anything. And I bought like Q-Wave defenders and those tabletop defenders. Man, if I could go back, my attackers tricked me so bad. They would turn everything down when I'd put these tabletop, and you can go back and look at some of my videos, and I was being really tricked. I put them up right against the wall towards my neighbor's house, and they would turn everything down because they were like psyoping me. If I could go back, I would not buy. I think I'd still buy the Q-Wave defenders that I put on my body, but I would not buy those tabletop defenders. Tabletop defenders are 500 bucks. So I was like, and I was working at the time being targeted, and I'd take some of the money out of my paycheck, like out of a month of paycheck, like 2 paychecks a month, and I'd buy like a tabletop defender every month. Stupid. They tricked me so bad. They still trick me. They still trick me sometimes. The psyop stuff is so bad. I'm gonna check out somebody talking about James Lyco's live stream. I hope he's doing okay. He gets hit really hard. But guys, that's the only thing. Like, I mean, we're making some moves, right? We're making some moves here with the unit investigation, but the stacking defenses is how I don't lose my mind. It's how I don't lose my mind and feel like I'm dying all the time. Sometimes it's kind of bad, like when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and I'm really sore. But a lot of times I'll have long periods of my body feeling cool. Like I feel the air conditioner on my body. I'm not heated up. It's still, the remote neural manipulation is still hard and stuff like that. But it gives me long periods of bearable comfort, right? The V2K does drive me nuts, right? Psychic driving and stuff like that lowers it a little bit to a lower intensity, lowers the pain to a lower intensity, the external hits. It's very much worth it, and it's the way we have to do things. I know I hear some target individuals saying nothing stops this stuff, do some cleansing and some supplements, but nothing, Faraday cages or anything. It's not true. Nothing stops at 100%. And I'm not going to say anybody specifically, but I even want those people who are like, nothing can stop. I want them to try this stuff because I see how much pain people are in, and it does. I look pretty good, right? I actually am hurting right now. Like my back really hurts, and over here kind of hurts. But it's the only thing that I've found to make this bearable. And while we are so close, right, you can buy time. I know the money thing is a big issue, but $300 for a Q-Wave defender that doesn't really work, compared to $35 for a Schumann resonator that works pretty good. And like if you buy 2, you're not gonna feel a subtle difference. It's not gonna be subtle. But we need, just like the ZVS driver, which I'm not using right now. I'm just using this other stuff right now, and I'm kind of taking a break to see how that works. But just like that, we need people trying these things to say, okay, across the board, does this thing work or doesn't it? Right. And so everybody who's used the Schumann resonator is saying, yeah, it really helps a lot. Alan Nielsen Brewer says, new poster behind you, Kyle. Where's Captain America? Yeah, this is Serenity. This is my favorite movie, and I ordered this poster like a month ago. It's like a good material. It's not just paper. It's not just a paper poster. It's like this really thick material, and I just thought it was kind of time for a change. And I just like the word Serenity. I like the word Serenity, and it's my favorite movie, and it's a really cool poster. I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of getting a bunch of comic books and like putting them all along the wall, like right under here and here. And these things are falling off. This actually does help me. Like when my autonomic nervous system is in fight or flight, I put these on and it really interferes with the body anxiety that my attackers give me, because they were making sure they did that right before I did the live stream. But yeah, I don't know. In game, the name, like the movie's cool, and I love Captain America and Marvel stuff, but the in game kind of bothered me having that word back there. Because I don't, I know that it's kind of the in game plan for the top of the pyramid. I like the word Serenity in the movie, and then I'm gonna put like a bunch of stuff. So I'll probably put stuff to back there. Like I'll kind of be building it so people will have something to look at. People can like look at some of my comic books and stuff. I may do something else. I don't know. I might. I'm just gonna put something in the background, maybe some kind of like some kind of holder, and maybe put some cool, unique things or movies or something. Just something for people, so they can kind of see. I see a lot of other YouTube channels have that. Come on, tablet. Come on. Okay, it's not. There we go. Stacy TI says, you guys are crazy, LO. Drunken Ninja says, my V2K is worried about their pension. My V2K says that like they were like, yeah, we're going to use this to target more people. They're like, we knew about this. This is part of our plan and stuff like that. And they're trying to target me harder. Like they're trying to target me harder. Because they're like, I definitely like my V2K is Chatterbox, and a lot of it's automated, but I definitely have people sitting there. Like they're getting tired and they don't like watching me. So I know that it's like a job for the people that are doing it to me. They're not having fun. And the guy keeps wanting to get it done, but I've got all these defenses to tone it down, and he gets pissed off. He's really pissed off right now. He's heating up right here. He's heating up right here. They're causing pain in my back because they don't want, they don't want me to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm using the fences and I'm doing great and stuff, because then they look bad to their coworkers. They're not handling their target. So it's like doing these videos gets them pissed off. It gets this guy pissed off. He just yelled, he goes, get out of here. Get out of here. Let's see, let's take I can't hear the V2K is good, which is a good thing. He just said, don't worry about it. It's very low. I can't, it kind of bubbles up in my inner voice and I can hear that the V2K is there. The woman just says, you got it. But it's just like, but sometimes I can't, I can kind of intuit that they're saying something, but right now it's very low, which is good. And it's proof that especially the Schumann resonator, and I think this smart shield does work, but especially the Schumann resonator does affect the V2K. They adjust though. I think there's like a couple of different ways they can do V2K. And with me, I think that I actually do have an implant either in my ear or tooth or something like that. So the V2K is the thing that's hardest for me to get rid of, because I think they actually are using like the implant. I might be, I don't know. I'm not sure. It just seems like it, because before my over targeting, I had the vagus nerve stimulation for like 10 years. Like before I even knew that I was being targeted, they had already caused me a lot of pain on my left side, all the way down to my foot and over here. Like, so they were like kind of prepping me for the targeting to go over. Okay, so the guy just goes, I don't care anymore. Because the woman's always like, what is she saying? I can't hear her very well. I can usually hear exactly what the woman's saying, but I can't hear her very well. She's saying, this is crazy. It's something like that. Like she's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. This is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop the V2K break. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this live stream, but I'll be doing more soon. Jeff O says, doesn't Slack TI think his V2K comes from his neighbors? No, I don't think so, Jeff O. I talked to Slack TI. He knows it's like remote. He knows it's remote. He's really smart guy. Drunken Ninja says, I hear one or two people constantly with V2K, and they seem to like what I talk about. Yeah, mine are always doing this, Drunken Ninja. Like I'll think of something like a solution or like, oh, this is what's going on, and the woman will go, he's right. Like he's right. Oh, he is smart. Like I'll like sometimes like I think they'll do an inner voice because they can do a remote neural manipulation inner voice thing where they'll make it appear like I'm thinking I'm smart, right? Because they and then she'll go, you are smart. He is smart. So, and occasionally they'll say you, but usually it's like he is this or he is that or he's oh yeah. It's speaking in general terms because that's what fits into the chatterbox. Then the guy says like, or she'll be like, he is a good man, you know, or something like that, and then the guy will be like, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. They picked him. We got to put him away, you know, and they just say stuff like that over and over with different variations, like little different variations, kind of the same theme all the way through, you know. Okay, the woman just goes, I'm done. And then the guy goes, really? And sometimes he'll say stuff that's like really mean, like when I'm trying to go to sleep. When I put Dave Case CD on, I can hear the V2K louder because of the noise induction from the CD. But it helps with the remote neural manipulation and stuff like that. And then the guy really, because some of this stuff is toning it down when I'm not listening to Dave Case CD, he gets really mean and he'll go, I think they block my mind. When I try and think about V2K, I have a hard time remembering the details of what they're saying. And I think it's a remote neural manipulation thing because they don't want me to say exactly what they're saying. He'll say mean stuff, kind of like get the F out of there, or we're gonna F and kill you and stuff like that. Or I'll be thinking of something funny and it'll be like, shut the F up or something like that. And I just start laughing because it's gotten to such a ridiculous point. So when he's mean, it's just so ridiculous because we're just kind of sitting here together. Like they're not here with me physically, but they're kind of in my head. They're just like watching what's going on in my head, doing the V2K, and we're just sitting here while I'm playing video games or working on this or talking to people or whatever. And so it's gotten to a point where the scary stuff they try and do becomes utterly ridiculous to a point where I'm just like, because I just know it's a job for him. Like he's like agitated that he's not getting his target put away, but it's really an impersonal feeling. Like my intuition listens to what they're saying and it sounds emotional, but my feeling about the connection is that it's very impersonal and they could give an F about me. It's just something that they're doing. They call themselves scientist soldiers or whatever. And so when he tries to get all mad and stuff, dude, he's going to punish me for this. He's going to definitely punish me for this. I'm just going to stop talking about it right now. Yeah, he's growling right now. He's going, don't worry about it. We've got to kill. And he's trying to growl and act like it's ridiculous. Okay, New Type says, if they have not been coerced, then likely the perpetrators were satanically ritually abused and their minds fractured. Who else could be so cruel? I just think they've turned all this stuff. It's like a military operation, and there's contractors, and they think of themselves as doing kind of just cold-blooded experimentation. And there's all these different surveillance, role-playing psyops. They'll maybe act like crack addicts, or they'll act like old friends of yours, or they hate you, or they're getting vengeance on you. But it's just a job where it's like a drone operator or playing a video game or something like that. they've distanced these people with technology to murder people all the time. And it's this distance, it's this disconnect. And so it's like a job. It's like a chain of command where they're working a job, and then they're acting, they're doing a role. If they're like really angry or really scary, they don't really care, or at least mine. Maybe some of y'all's people, maybe they do drugs, maybe they do get angry. It just, in mine, it seems like they're a contractor. They say they work for the NSA. So I'm assuming they're a contractor for the NSA or the DIA. And it seems, the feeling I get is that they don't care. They kind of want to wrap it up, but I keep asking them, how do y'all think this is going to be wrapped up? How do you think that I'm sitting here, I'm getting better defenses, the UN's doing an investigation. The woman reacts like, he's right, this looks like it's coming to an end. And the guy's like, it doesn't, he's like, that's not going to mean anything, you know? So to me, it's just very cold blooded. Stacy says, my V2K never shuts up. They are so annoying. And mine does. It's like, but I can't, sometimes it's just like, I'll hear the inflection of their voice, but I don't know exactly what they're saying, especially right now. It's like really toned down right now with the 2 Schumann resonators in my left pocket. And if I listen to Dave Case's CD, it gets kind of complicated. When I take Dave Case's CD off, the V2K is less, because they're using that microwave hearing, or, you know, whatever, microwave hearing. When I put Dave Case's CD on, they'll switch it to a noise induction. So there's these, I think about 4, maybe more protocols for V2K: bone conduction, noise induction, like through running water or Dave Case's CD or whatever. Then there's microwave hearing, where it's like they're actually expanding brain tissue. As the brain tissue cools, it sends a certain frequency to the inner ear. And then there's probably implant, frequency sent to the implant. Implant sends a radio frequency up the nerve to the inner ear, and then probably straight into the ear too. So that's the ones that I'm thinking of right now. But there's probably different methods that I'm not even saying right now for V2K. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says everyone thinks they're clever in their own mind. I know I'm clever, Drunken Ninja. I know it. I know it, man. I'm very clever. I'm like it's an objective fact that I'm like the smartest man in the world. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. I think you're a very clever guy, like objectively. But I don't think. See, that's what I don't. I don't know if you were talking about what I was talking about. You okay? Oh, you're talking about Stacy. Yeah, Stacy says they think they are so clever and funny. Mine just act. They want to. The guy wants to act like an authority figure. He wants to, like, so they'll give me certain feelings, and they want to act, which is ridiculous because he's a murderer and a terrorist, and a lot of it's automated, so it's chatterbox, and he's not even saying it at the time. But he will interject manual things, and she will interject manual things, but it's like shift workers, so they're using the same voice, but it's like 3 groups of people, 3 groups of 2, I think, maybe 3 groups of 2 or something like that. But he tries to act like a policeman, or like this is an authoritative position over my life, and to give me that feeling like I'm in trouble or whatever. Like they try to interrogate me at the beginning, and they try and make it like they're gonna find something out about me. But the problem is I haven't done anything. Like my thoughts aren't even, they have to inject horrible thoughts and stuff like that. So it becomes just a ridiculous thing. And I don't even think this group of people who are the Hive Mind team members now, I think they switched over. Like before my house burnt down, it must have been about 2015, there were all of a sudden 2 women and 2 men for a couple of months. And it seemed like they were transitioning things. So it seemed like the first group that started doing my overt torture wasn't getting things done. And they weren't getting things done right. And they brought 2 more people. They brought in a different group. I don't know. That's hard. I'll go into that stuff on another. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says same, Stacy. I don't know if mine act like they're smart. I think my psychology is that I would there would be more of a connection if they acted like they were smart. There would be more of an interaction, and they want to dehumanize me. So they kind of act like militaristic alpha male. Like the guy acts like a militaristic alpha male, and the woman acts like she really cares, but they're somehow dating or married or something like that. And that's kind of the psychological thing, because if the guy acted like he was cerebral at all, there would be some kind of like, I would maybe try and interact more. There would be a more humanization. So there's a specific psychology. They figure out what your psychology is, and they try and do what is going to make you the most uncomfortable, right? But then after years and years, it's like the psychological operations stop working because it's so ridiculous, and it just keeps going on, and you know they have no authority over you because you're not under arrest and you didn't do anything. At the beginning, I kind of felt like I was in trouble a little bit because I had smoked weed, and I was like, oh man, I knew I didn't do anything wrong, but I just kind of had that feeling of being in trouble. But anything now where I feel nervous or anxious towards them, it's induced. It's remote neural manipulation. It's not my natural condition not my natural like thinking. It's implanted stuff where I'll feel anxious or like they're interrogating me or something, and get that uneasy feeling because I just haven't done anything wrong in life. Smoking weed is not that bad, you know. Wayne Morris says we beat them up in school. Now they are pissed. I guess some of them could be like that. Some of them could be like software nerds and stuff like that. Mine, I'm in Louisiana. It could be a different profile of people working for some of the contractors here. And I do. Yeah, you know, I get the feeling that this alpha male militaristic guy, it's an act. Like it's really like kind of a guy, because at the beginning they started talking about comic books a lot and stuff like that, or like kind of in the middle there. And I do kind of think that it's kind of like what he wants to be. It's his surveillance role playing that he's like this alpha male militaristic guy, but he's more like what Wayne said. He's like a nerdy comic book guy, knows software a lot, knows neuroscience and stuff like that. And he contracted out. He's probably was military, maybe Marines or something like that, and then got out of the army and went into the you know, these contracting programs, you know, under the NSA or under the CIA. Yeah, so I kind of agree with that. I think a lot of them are software nerds. Tanya says, yes, Stacy, but they are not perps, bums. Gang stalkers are like just bums. Gang stalkers are just like know nothings. Jennifer Corlew Airy says, the drunken ninja, whenever you have those thoughts, reject the plan and put it to the cross for judgment. These people are satanic, looking for consent. Yeah, I think a lot of them are satanic. I don't think my attackers think of themselves as satanic. They're more nihilistic. They're compliant, nihilistic, but yeah, I mean, I think they're Masons. I think mine like are Masons. Like the women are in the Masonic women group, and the men are in the Masons, but they don't see it as like worshiping Satan, like with cloaks and stuff like that. I think some attackers do, but mine, it's like just an ex-military job. They're learning about the brain, and they'll often say, like, I'll be like, this isn't going to help humanity. This is going to make everybody scared. It's going to screw up things. And the guy will say, in the future, it's going to help humanity. So they're believers. And you watch this movie and look at the bad guy. The bad guy in this movie reminds me of what my attackers are, what the guys on there. I don't know. It seems like one woman actually could not like this anymore, and then the other two women don't give a shit, but they're like using that same woman's voice. But that gets sticky. I can't figure that out. Like, I can't figure it out. But if you watch this movie Serenity, watch the bad guy in it. That's what I think my attackers are, down to a T. That's what I think they are. They're just doing a job. If they were not getting paid and they weren't working for these contractors, they wouldn't just be freely murdering people. They're compliant. They'd be doing what the military told them to do. Or in this case, what the contractors, which their ex-military, told them to do. Or whatever the Masons are going along with. They're compliant. They get into these groups. They start doing these things. I don't think my attackers would have naturally gravitated towards evil. But that's like my own opinion of it, and that could also be a psyop, right? They could be doing that so that I don't hate them as much and cut off from them as much, and maybe that makes, it gets too much. Sometimes you just got to be like, I don't freaking care what they're doing. They're hurting me, and I want to stop it, right? We can do that. We can do these exercises and trying to figure things out. But sometimes it's just like they're hurting me. I don't care, because it's all a psyop. Asymmetrical warfare, psyop, whatever your attackers are saying on B2K, it's establishing your psychology and saying what's going to make them the most angry, what's going to mess with them the most. So they're changing whatever they are, the reality of who they are, surveillance role play, to mess with you more. So I don't think any of us could say, oh, these people are just acting like who they really are in life. They're evil, of course they're evil. And maybe they are. I mean, maybe they, because Masons may do some weird ritual stuff. Vocal Source says it's hard to develop advanced strategies on me when they are angry. I guess saying some of the stuff I say, I'm not trying to be on their side, or I'm definitely not trying to be on their side. I don't even know why I said that. When mine act like they're angry, it's an act. They're very calm. They want to get me angry. When I'm calm, they will act angry. But at this point, well, and mine's been going on for so long, so it might be a little bit different. It might have turned into something kind of different. I know, because I know they've gotten angry before, or seem to get angry before. I don't know. I just get the feeling from my attackers. It's just they say they're scientist soldiers. Could be a psyop on me though. I try not to think about it too much. Hey, thank you, Wayne. All right, yeah, I'm gonna kind of shut it down, guys. I'm gonna shut down the live stream, but I'll be back on. Just pass that information around about the unit investigation, guys. Drunken Ninja says, when I asked why they said we're just trying this shit out. Yeah, I'll guarantee you they're getting paid, Drunken Ninja. I would almost bet, I would bet all the money I had that everybody's attackers, if you're getting remote neural monitored and remote neural manipulated with the V2K and the whole package everywhere you go, and it's been for years and years and years, I would bet all my money that they're getting paid, that it is a job that they go to and they switch out with other people and then automate a lot of it, but they're like getting a salary from it. I'd guarantee that they have certain clearances too with these contractors. And oh, did y'all hear the CEO of Lockheed Martin and the CEO of Boeing stepped down? Where'd they go? Where'd they go recently? And was it because of the coronavirus? Tanya says, I hope dirty perps get the bug. Yeah, man. That's like, I don't understand. During a crisis, why are they still doing this? Like, why are they not being diverted off into like doing something for the country and stopping the coronavirus? It seems like at some point in crisis, the targeting would stop. At some point when there's a big enough crisis. Cheryl Lewis says, on my video, Kyle's voice doesn't match his lips. All right, sorry guys. And the stuff that I think, I'm getting psyoped, y'all. Like I'm getting psyoped, and my attackers they are smart. Like they're evil, and I hate them. My targeting is very sophisticated because it's been going on for so long. I mean, they've done a lot of things with remote neural manipulation that I didn't even, active memory couldn't have helped me. Like active memory can't help me because they were matching my own. Things were obvious at first, but as they continued the protocol, my brain gets more and more tired, and then they match my own thoughts, but just make me think a certain thing that I would have thought. Active memory kind of doesn't really help me. I have to go deeper into my heart, my faith, the context of the situation, my instinct, and everything like that. So it's sophisticated. Like some things they do, like to make me paranoid of others. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, like, wow, you know, and I want to downplay this, but it's serious. Like these people, they spend all their time sitting there when I'm trying to get my mind off of it, thinking of ways to trick me, thinking of ways to destroy my life. You know, so it's serious stuff. It's like sometimes I'm like, ooh, that's crazy that it's that intense. They're definitely getting paid. These aren't people just sitting around. At least for me, they're getting paid. They would not be still sitting there. They're bored, you know, watching me use the bathroom and stuff like that. They're definitely getting paid. My attackers, and so much of it's automated too, right? So much of it's automated, and the AI is so sophisticated and so you know, artificial life. You know, artificial life is coming about. I have to agree with Brian too on that. Maybe it's not 100% there right now. Maybe don't, but they're working on it. I mean, they're working on it where you think people are really there sometimes, and it's something that's reacting to your brain waves, and it's reacting to things you say in your inner voice, and it seems very, very real. You know. Oh, I gotta shut down the live stream, guys. This is my problem. I just want to keep reading y'all's comments. New type says if delay, close YouTube and rejoin. Yeah, always that's my go-to, guys. That's my go-to. My go-to is like if my attackers are hacking into something or messing with something, just turn it off. Like turn it off, turn it back on, restart it. Like they'll hack into my PlayStation 4. I'm playing this game Red Dead Redemption 2, and they can hack into the game. Like they've networked with some people, and they can hack into the game where you can't, like, you usually you talk to people in the game and you can interact with them and stuff. They can hack into it when I've got it on pause at night to where everything, you can't interact with anything in the game. And this is like, I mean, some of this stuff, and I don't even have the PlayStation 4 connected to the internet. So they've got a way where they're hacking into the PlayStation 4 where I'm not connected through my modem to the PlayStation 4. So some of this stuff gets like, wow, you know. I just try. I mean, I try and laugh about it. Besides the pain, besides the extreme pain in my brain being all messed up. Hey, thanks for coming, Jeff. Everybody, check out Jeff O's channel. I'm going to watch some of your videos right now and give you thumbs up. Yeah, man, I'm drinking not beer right now. Looks like urine. That's gross. God, it's actually an energy drink. It's not urine or beer, or beer and urine together. All right, guys. All right, I'm getting loopy. Now. I gotta go. Wayne Moore says cross dressers and gender benders. Hey, politically persecuted. Now, I'm about to end the live stream, so you're gonna have to watch it over, man. Yeah, Stacy TI says they never quit, and Stacy TI says doesn't even slow them down. Yeah, and the thing is, like, this technology is very advanced. The AI is very advanced, so you can't imagine your attackers sitting there all the time. They're getting things to where it seems like they're sitting there all the time. Then they may inject things here or there. There may be people, you know, hive mind team members there to monitor things, but a lot of it is automated. So, well, some people, I don't know, some people's V2K is a lot. It doesn't sound as automated as mine. And that's different protocols for different contractors, right? So some are really really experimenting with the brain to computer interfaces. Some are just trying to automate everything and keep the automated attacks going. So there's a lot of different agencies, and different departments of the DoD, contractors under them, doing many different things, right? So when I say this stuff that I think is going on, I'm kind of coming from like what I'm experiencing. Just remember that. And we all kind of have to do that. But there's a lot of different stuff going on, a lot of different people doing this with this technology to people. Hey, Teresa Brown. Teresa Brown says, hi, Kyle. This may be a stupid question. How do you shield? My whole head actually goes numb. Teresa Brown, I went through a lot of shielding. Go back and watch this live stream. The Smart Shield USB thing and the Schumann resonator. There's lots of things to shield. I have lots of videos on that, and I'm going to try and do a playlist with all the shielding But I really got to go, guys. My back hurts really bad. I love you guys. I love you guys. Just stay safe from the coronavirus. Let's keep our, let's keep apprised of the situation, and maybe we'll do that like this weekend or something. I'll just get on a live stream. We can hang out and maybe just go through different kind of news, and we'll check out the percentages of deaths and things like that, so we can maybe put it in perspective. And maybe we'll go through some videos on like what to do to stay safe, and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, I love y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But y'all stay safe. There's lots of things, Teresa. Grounding, Dave Case's CD. What I would do to start off, I'd go to antitinnitusb2k.com for Dave Case's CD. And there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff, and you want to kind of stack it. But I'll go over some of that on other videos, guys. All right, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one, guys.